Cloud Dance tightly frowned. Quietly and clearly see the process of puppet resurrection. Yunwoo found that although the puppets were resurrected, their broken necks and wounds were still broken. It's really a puppet without any pain. Cloud Dance frowned and said. Then they broke the other parts of the puppet, from the limbs to the head. No matter where they were broken, they all recovered quickly. Click, the clear voice rang out. Cloud Dance heart a quiver, hurriedly looked to Small Stink position. See, Small Stink is surrounded by many puppets. And it spewed out the fire with extremely high temperature, which could not push back those puppets at all. On the contrary, the burnt puppets and the rest of the skeleton directly caught the little Stink. What kind of puppet is this? Yunwoo didn't want to, so he flew back. In the big knife directly split the charred skeleton, the Small Stink back to the side. Ma ma. Little Stink, flat mouth. However, in those round eyes, they were red, angry, bared their teeth and clawed, and wanted to fight towards the puppets. You go back first. However, before Yunwoo finished, Xiaoqiu jumped and rushed to Hung Ling, who was surrounded by puppets. Smelly flower, I'll save you. Who wants you to save me? I disdain to eat these stinky corpses. The sound of Hung Ling gnashing her teeth came from the surrounded puppet. However, with the addition of Stink, one outside and one inside, the puppets soon broke through the siege. And Lan Yu and Bai Shuer have more enemies than others. Although they are in a mess, they can cope with it. As for the elements of Cloud Dance just condensed, it seems that it will not last long. Looking at the anxious war situation, even if the summoner's attack is fierce, there will always be a puppet resurrection. If it goes on like this, they will be defeated. Damn it! This is not going to work. Cloud Dance eyes flash a crazy, quick decision, fight. Get out of the way. Drink it. Clouds flying up, the body of fire elements continue to emerge, rich as blood, bright. At the same time, Cloud Dance hand gently lift, fire elements into a chain scattered. Under the precise control of mental force, he found every puppet accurately, and then quickly pulled all the puppets together. The scorching heat left traces of scald on the dry body of the puppet. After all the puppets get together, the four of them immediately turn to the scene of Dragon's evil, and go to help him fight against Mo Yebing. The rich earth elements in Yunwoo gush out and condense into a wall, trapping all the puppets in it. After all this, a touch of madness appeared in Yunwoo's eyes. Since you can't fight to death, I'll let you turn into ashes. I'll see how you fight. High voice resounded through the world, clearly into everyone's ears, deeply shocked the heart of everyone present. And at that moment, Cloud Dance madly withdraws the whole body force and focuses on the sea of consciousness, which is the original fire absorbed by the group. The first time to use the original fire was in the Phoenix Cave. And this time, she took out the fire of the source, and she was prepared to bear it, and was burned by the fire of the source. So, without any hesitation, to absorb the spirit, more ferocious gush out. It belongs to Wuzuan's early strength. Also at this time, with the fire of the source, and completely burst out. Pain. The fire of the source came out suddenly along her arm. What Yunwoo doesn't know is that the phoenix mark on her shoulder is really clear at this moment. That's a sign. A sign that even Cloud Dance didn't know existed. I saw that the moment the flame appeared, the temperature in the air seemed to boil in an instant. The fire element falls into the earth wall and burns when it meets the object, which directly makes the earth wall internalized into a sea of fire. Ah ah. A strange scream sounded, so that this piece of world more strange, people cannot help but creepy. But it's not over. Yunwoo withstood the pain of bringing out the fire of the origin, turned the palm of her hand, a group of lightning elements suddenly wrapped around her right arm, with the sound of crackling. At this time, the sky, also came the sound of lightning. Before the storm of Fengfu came, it was boring and suffocating. Then, what is that? Looking at the sky cloud discoloration, looking at the dazzling fire, looking at the girl figure above the fire. The ministers on the tower were all stunned. Ray element? Fire element? At this time, Long Yao's eyes flashed a little surprise, but he was more satisfied with the smile. Here, the thunder element in Yunwu's hand vacates to the extreme moment, and his right hand suddenly falls. The thunder brewing in the air for a long time also focused on the puppets in the fire. With the power of thunderbolt, like the fury of Thor over 9 days, shaking the whole earth. Ah! Ah! Hiss! Boom dash! After all, the screams were covered by thunder and finally engulfed by flames. Mo Yebing looks at the puppet that he has worked hard to cultivate. His body is destroyed, and his eyes suddenly open. Damn it, a big anger raised, as if eager to directly rush up to tear Cloud Dance to pieces. Your opponent is me. Long Qingxie quickly stopped in front of Mo Yebing. He was dressed in white clothes. At this time, he was in a state of disrepair. There was a scar on his chest, and there was blood oozing out. And small Stinky they, although a little embarrassed, but also no sign of weakness. On the other hand, Mo Yebing is not much better. He has been in Wuzuan's later stage for many years, but now he is beaten by a younger generation. I can't see the original clothes on my body for a long time. Many sword wounds appear on my skin, especially my face. It seems that my face has become a little old because of the long-term battle. Do you really think you can beat me? Mo Yebing looks at the dragon Qingxie standing in front of him, and his eyes show a bloodthirsty light. I really think so. Long Qingxie showed a smile, and his tone was as unruly as the expression on his face. You ink night ice tone a choke, hands white bone a grip, black fog diffuse. The double eyes Yin-sun stares at the dragon to pour evil, cold way, good, so don't measure one's own strength, I'll let you see my real fighting strength. Said, hands suddenly one stroke, the white hands, the black fog began to condense. The thunder and lightning in Yunwu's hands gradually dissipated, and the sea of fire in the wall also slowly disappeared, and finally completely dispersed. There are dozens of puppets just now, but none of them can be seen now. It seems that we really need to use violence to solve the problem. With the wave of the clouds, the last wall of the earth is completely scattered. The breeze blew, leaving a layer of gray dust on the ground and scattered with the wind, and at this time, the troops of the 10,000 Beast Gate have arrived and are attacking the city in addition to wrapping them up. Cloud Dance frowns. However, at this time, Cloud Dance's mind was put on the dragon's evil. See, at this time of Emoyi eyes seem to contain what power, Dragon Qing evil is in one side, the corner of the mouth smile strange. What's going on? Boom! All of a sudden, a shaking explosion, suddenly lifted in mid-air. What's going on? It's not clear at all. Wait for that fireworks to disperse, but see Mo Yebing flustered to fall to the distance, and the body of Long Qingxie seems to be shaken by something. Cloud Dance wind element set off, quickly chasing the past, holding the dragon Qing evil flying out of the figure. How about the dragon Yunwu goes straight to Long Qingxie's side, grabs his hand, and feels his qi and blood surging, which makes him feel a twinge of heartache. The water element directly gushes out and twines around the dragon's evil body, repairing the external wound on his body and smoothing the surging breath in his body. It's okay. If you have something to do, it's the same Mo Yebing. Dragon Qing Xia that show a smile, that smile inexplicably stained with mystery. Cloud Dance see this, brow rather tight. However, at this time, he didn't wait for Yunwu to say anything. Because the people of the Beast Gate are already attacking the city. Emperor, Emperor. The gate of the city began to be hit, and the ministers on the top of the city all clearly felt the vibration of the impact. One by one, their faces turned white and almost fell to the ground. However, I saw that Long Yaozi, without any tension, was still standing there, like a noble king, quietly looking at the siege army below. Emperor, it's too late to send troops. Let's go back to the palace first. Yes, Your Majesty, it's dangerous here. You'd better go back to the palace first. Yes. The ministers spoke to Long Yaozi. But at this time, Long Yaozi suddenly spoke with dignity. Order to go down, open the gate, and all the soldiers will go to battle in bundles. The majestic voice, like a megaphone, spread all around. The minister and the bodyguards, who were just looking silly, reacted at this moment. Under the gate of the city, the people of the Beast Gate have surrounded us. Tens of thousands of people, just like pressure. How can it be against the enemy if there are no more than 1,000 people in Longziguo's garrison? Isn't it the same as opening the gate at this time? Is your majesty still under the control of the national master? The minister on the scene, looking at Long Yaozi, had a look of doubt in his eyes. If your emperor's words, you still doubt that this dragon Shuguo really needs to be rectified. Just then, a sudden voice came. The ministers looked at the sound source. When he saw the young man in gorgeous clothes, the ministers were stunned. As if, it took a long time to respond. Prince of the Kingdom of An. Situlan. When was Prince An in Longshu? And, at this time, it's still here. What's going on? Does the Kingdom of An also want to take advantage of this time to attack the attention of Long Shugua? When the ministers thought about it, several loyal ministers immediately stood up in front of Long Yaozi and were full of vigilance. Bodyguard. A drink down, the bodyguard on the tower, instantly holding a sword to resist in front of that Situ Lan. Seeing this, Situ Lan's deep eyes picked an eyebrow. However, the handsome face is slightly raised. Don't be nervous, I'm not interested in you Long Shugua, but I've been asked by your 3 princes to help. 3 princes? After hearing Situ Lan's words, the ministers were stunned. However, Long Yaozi did not seem to be surprised. He brushed his hand and asked the guards to withdraw. Looking at the Situ Lan, he said in a low voice, well, Long Shugua, please. What? The ministers quickly turned to look at Long Yaozi. Your Majesty, will this? It can't be said that we should entrust our country to the prince of another country. However, Long Yaozi's dignified eyes swept by, and all the ministers who wanted to speak were silent. Situ Lan smiles, and his manners are extremely elegant. Don't mention it, Your Majesty. Who told me that I was in the boat of your 3rd son? I will get it back from him later. After that, Situ Lan seemed to lift his hand very easily. Your Highness. I saw a respectful and powerful cry, suddenly came from the city. After a while, we saw soldiers in plain clothes appeared in the streets and alleys of the city, with dense heads, almost full of the whole city. The pupils of the ministers shrank. It seems that some people are frightened by what they see in front of them. The soldiers of An Kingdom are all over the imperial city of Longshu Kingdom. God, what the hell is going on? Open the gate. Yes. The gate of the city is open, kill. The fighting started at this moment. But this is just the beginning. Back. Block in the city gate open. When the 2 sides are fighting, suddenly, a startling roar of birds suddenly pierced the sky. The sound of animal and bird's names seemed to arouse everyone's agitation and blood on the tower, ministers. Before they could react from Situ Lan, they were suddenly attracted by the roar. One by one, they turned around and watched outside the city. However, when I saw a bird coming from the air outside the city, I was a bit silly when I followed the large anti-encirclement troops in the rear. What's going on? Are those the armies of the Kingdom of An again? All of a sudden, there was a different long and ethereal roar, which seemed to come from a distance. The people looked up and listened in surprise again. In an instant, the long howling sound suddenly increased by countless times. At the same time, the soldiers on the back of the former flying beasts suddenly jumped into the enemy's heart and began to fight. Then came the flying beast, but it was Red Firebird. There's only one soldier behind each one. However, the soldiers were different from the first group. They wore special armor one by one, just like dragon riders, and matched perfectly with the Firebird. That's when Situ Lan saw that, his eyebrows suddenly picked. It seems that there are some accidents. But it is obvious that the army of Firebird behind is not the army of Tan Kingdom. The cloud dance with Dragon Qingxia finally came, and a smile rose on his face. Little thing, isn't it your arrangement? Dragon Qing evil sighed head, looking at the side of the little woman. Yunwu raised the corner of his mouth, turned his head and looked at him seriously. I said that one day, for you, I can pierce the sky. I never break my promise. And now, it will be the time for me to fulfill my promise, so look at your woman, not the weak. At the end of the speech, the elements of cloud dancing wind are wrapped up, and the figure has been swept up. Jinling. There was a low roar. And just under her roar, there was a piercing sound of birds coming through the air. In the twinkling of an eye, I saw a golden eagle take off. As soon as Yunwu stood on the back of the golden carving, the firebird soldiers flying from afar immediately approached her. Miss Nine. A full range of shouts spread. It's magnificent. The people of the Beast Gate and the ministers in the imperial city, including Situ Lan, seemed to be surprised. When will the Cloud family have such an army? Why have you never heard of it? However, the only one really angry. But that, in the ink night eyes standing in the army, that eyes can almost spray the haze of fire. It's Firebird. At the beginning, hundreds of Firebird eggs were lost in the forest beast branch. She stole it. And hatched. Damn it. What are you doing? Kill me now. Angry, Mo Yibing roars. All around the 10,000 beast men, in a moment also half-beast, beasts set off killing. Kill. The roar, which seemed to be human and non-human, was raised in an instant, and it sounded like thunder and earth shattering in people's ears. Poof. High Tower sighed, those civil servants, suddenly face a change, half kneeling, mouth gushing blood, was the sound of shock injury. Man becomes half-beast. Strength has been upgraded several levels. For those who are weak, they can't afford it. It seems that this time it's going to be serious. Situ Lanwei raised his eyebrows. Before everyone could react, Situ Lan's figure jumped down from the tower. In a moment, his figure disappeared in the crowd of the Beast Gate. See that howl just fall, the people of 10,000 beast doors seemed to follow the warcraft like, really began to kill like don't want life. At the foot of all the people, the tower and the ground seemed to vibrate slightly, like dust. When you take a look, the people outside the city are almost like a beast. They are coming towards the imperial city as if they were stepping down on the imperial city. The soldiers of an kingdom, who are pouring out resistance in the city, are more and more struggling. In midair, Yunwu stands on Jinling's back, overlooking the scene below. Hongling, what are you doing? Are you not greedy for these real food? Little stink, have fun. Lan Yu, enjoy the freezing. By Schwer, take out your skills in Hurricane Cliff. This time, I want all the people in the Beast Gate to come back one by one. Cloud Dance's voice, not big, but, it seems to be intentional general, clear and incomparable spread all over the presence of everyone's ears. She said that one day, she would take it back 100 times. Beast Gate. This time, with the number of 10,000 beasts, it is estimated that they are pouring out. Then, no one is going. Small Stink, Red Ling, Blue Yu, White Snow Sun Smell speech, immediately nodded Shide. Then, go in 4 directions. At the same time, the 4 lights also indicate the beginning of the killing. Looking at this scene, the cloud dances and the corners of his mouth are cold. Then he looked up at the soldiers on the Firebird and said, are you done? It's done. Leading soldier, respond respectfully. Cloud Dance nods, the eye ground is full of cold meaning, good. Then, take both sides as the goal, and tear a hole for me in the shortest time. Yes, Miss Nine. As soon as the soldier on the Firebird heard of it, a flash of blood flashed in his eyes. Finally, it's time to start. Just after the Firebird soldiers withdrew, Yunwu didn't move anymore, just quietly watching and waiting. This time, she plans to start from both light and shade. Although she trained 100 elite troops and 10 assassins. However, in the face of this time out of the Beast Gate, her number is too small. It's stupid to fight hard, so you can only outwit. However, many times, when originally planned, there will be some unexpected situations. For example, just when Yunwoo got ready step by step and began to fight for blood to wash the beast gate, a sound of marching troops came from afar. Standing in the sky in the clouds, overhanging eaves a look. When I saw the words on the high flag, I was stunned. Kingdom of An. However, it is at this time. On the other side, a small but supportive team came from the other side. Zhou Dynasty. What's going on? When Yunwoo saw the flag, there was an accident in his eyes. However, when he saw that the leader was Zhou Feiyu, Yunwoo was a little clear. It's him. However, it is strange that Zhou Feiyu came to support Long Shugua. According to the truth, he would never come to help the dragon. However, no matter what the reason is, with the support of the two countries, it seems that the chance of winning this battle, which originally needed to be fought step by step, has increased a lot. Kill, not won. On the battlefield, the roar and the killing continued. Soon, what makes people feel scared is that it's not the direct fighting, but the secret assassin who knows who is going to do it. Yes. On the battlefield, there are still assassins. This is really against the common sense, but it is also astonished by the people of the Beast Gate. In the shapeless assassination, I don't know who the opponent is. This is the horror of being in a hurry. Door Master, our left side is surrounded by the army of An Kingdom. Master, our rear is surrounded too. Sect Leader, the right side is surrounded by the people of Zhou Dynasty. Mo Yibing, who is in the process of breathing and healing, hears the subordinates coming to report one by one, and his face is not so ugly. The front door won't get in and the back sides are surrounded. And not only the Kingdom of An, but also the Zhou Dynasty. This time, he couldn't control Long Yaoza. He was going to take all the empty dragon Shugua in order to control it. That way, it won't affect the future affairs of the Beast Gate. But I never thought that since the appearance of Dragon 3 and Cloud Dance, all the plans seem to have gone wrong. At the beginning, he should have killed them. Now, it's dangerous to raise a tiger. If you go on, you must break the imperial city for me at all costs. Mo Yibing's cold and hidden voice is filled with a cold anger. Yes, you have a long life. It won't kill you to bite back like that just now, but you don't have much chance this time. Suddenly, a strange voice came quietly. Just reported 3 people, had not responded at all, the double pupil stares big, cut off the gas. After a serious look, they saw 3 sharp daggers on their chest. And the figure of Long Qingxie has been standing in front of Mo Yibing. Mo Yibing raised her eyes and looked at the dragon. The haze in her eyes was very clear. You really wake up. No wonder I will suffer such a big attack as soon as I suck your power. There was still a restless eroding force in his body. Dragon Qing evil but pick eyebrow, a pair of innocent-like appearance, what awakening. I don't understand what you said, but I'll take your life as the price for hurting her last time. Ink Night Ice Eyes Canthus. What a big breath. Ink Night Ice figure suddenly stood up from the ground, black fog filled. Do you really think that if you hurt me, you can kill me? Dragon inclined evil spirit hook lip a smile, that slender fingers, gently up a turn, a group of black light looming. I don't know if this will kill you. Ink Night Ice a sea, pupils suddenly a shrink, a touch of horror suddenly appeared in the depths of her eyes. You, demon. However, without waiting for Mo Yibing to finish what he said, Long Qingxie's figure has moved strangely, and in a twinkling of an eye, he comes to Mo Yibing's side. Ink Night Ice is almost instinctive, flash and open. Today, you can escape because of you. Long Qingxie's eyes narrowed. Without any hesitation, he attacked quickly. Mo Yibing didn't dare to fight in any backhand, as if he met some natural enemy, so he could only dodge in a hurry. Cloud Dance in the air, see this scene, the figure is also a flash, directly cut off the Ink Night Ice. Why, does this National Normal University also need to escape? Sneer extremely cold sound, die smile like spread. Mo Yibing's eyes flashed an angry shame. Don't go too far. Ink night ice gloomy canthus angry way. Too much. The cloud dances and hears the speech. It's like hearing something funny. Ha ha. But all of a sudden, with a laugh and cold eyes, he stares at the Moibing. I remember the master wanted our lives again and again. How did the master forget? It doesn't matter if you forget it. Today, let's have a try and take your life. At the end of the speech, Yunwu gives a glance to the dragon. Dragon Qing evil spirit smile, tacit understanding full to around, straight attack ink night ice. Mo Yibing's eyes are full of gloom, and his hands are full of black fog. But at this time, bang! There was a loud crash. Sparks in an instant splash, and ink night ice figure, but at that moment, was an embarrassed figure to push away. Long Qingxie saw that he was almost patted by them, and the figure suddenly appeared with a frown. And cloud dance, see that figure, eyes a sink, fist a clench. Ink white. Withered thin shadow, face too pale, breath is still in a weak state. Mo Bai looks at the cloud dance, and the color in his eyes is complex. Let him go. When Mo Yibing saw Mo Bai, her face was not very good looking. Who asked you to come, go back to me. Ink white but turn a deaf ear, eyes quietly staring at the cloud. Let him go, this time. Yunwu looked at him and said nothing. However, at this time, Mo Bai turns around and grabs Mo Yibing. Without waiting for Yunwu to open his mouth, he pulls Mo Yibing to disappear on the other side of the sky. Just let him go. Around, the dragon Qingxie indifferent voice gently out. The cloud dance draws back the line of sight, the eyes flash a touch of dark. I owe him a life, and you don't. It means he can stop it. However, Long Qingxie doesn't understand. However, she doesn't like to owe others, and so does he. He doesn't want to come back one day to collect money from his woman. It's just that the ink night ice on the battlefield, as the two countries joined in the support, the dragon's evil forces were in the dark, and the unique army of Yunwu was added. Later, the army of Lung Ziguo was not an army. Even if the people of the 10,000 beast sect use half-beast to improve their strength. Half a day later, the battlefield finally came to an end. However, this battle, because of the great disparity in strength, caused too much loss. The ministers and the people of Long Shuguo were shocked by this unprecedented war. Especially the dragon, the Prince of Dragon 3. The Prince of An Kingdom was able to support him, but without a word, he brought most of the troops into Longshu. It's really scary. However, Long Xiao's name is not for nothing. Second, Cloud Dance. The fiancé of the Dragon Prince, the legendary summoner. Not only powerful, but also have their own special forces, really terrible. After the First World War with the Beast Gate, the whole country of Longshu fell into a dead silence. Blood splashed all over the city walls, and the corpses everywhere were ferocious. Cloud empty dirty, dyed a layer of hazy red, blood washed the mountains, attack dye plain clothes. It seems that it will take some time to recover this time. Corpses are everywhere. Situ Lan looks at the mess after the fierce battle. A trace of coldness passes between his eyebrows and eyes, and the corner of his mouth is stained with a bloody smile. Dragon Qing evil sneer young lips, evil eyes bloodthirsty killing intention has not yet hidden. Looking at the black-robed people everywhere, his eyes sank, it's a pity that he ran away. Don't worry. Sooner or later, he will send it to the door by himself. At this time, the cloud dance came, and there was a trace of bloodthirsty in the cold and determined voice. Both Situ Lan and Long Qingxie turned their eyes to Yunwu, and the corners of their mouths were bloodthirsty and sneered with a trace of warmth. It seems that your woman's attitude is quite good. Situ Lan takes a look at Dragon Qingxie, mouth ruffian yang, ridicule way. That is, with her, Long Shuguo will soon return to the past. Dragon Qing evil mouth slightly yang, swept cloud shoulder, a face I am most proud of her embrace. Cloud Dance cold glanced at him one eye, in the eye I cannot say helpless. My brother's future daughter-in-law, who has no reputation, will you mind if he eats tofu for you? When will she be righted? The emperor is not in a hurry, the eunuch is in a hurry. Cloud Dance glances at him, and the cold light passes in his eyes. He remembers what Master Polybola's cousin said at the beginning. In short, is it the future daughter-in-law of a good brother? Now I think I'm insulted. Situ Lan touched her cold eyes, and the corners of her mouth twitched. Then, he glanced at Dragon Qingxie and gave him a blow. He looked at you and left. Good brother's future daughter-in-law, the kingdom of An has made a lot of efforts this time. It's troublesome for you to recover the kingdom of An. Please let me know when you get married and send you a big gift that you can't stop. He left smartly, his white robe was stained with blood, slightly embarrassed, and could not hide the noble atmosphere of his excellent posture. Cloud Dance looks at that handsome back figure, the corner of the mouth starts to put on a smile. Can brothers do this? Dragon Qing Evil also dyed the corner of the mouth, Blood Shadow Imperial City, dyed all people's lapels, but not worth a red blood heart. The 5th day after the war. After 5 days of rectification, Long Shugua has recovered from his infancy. However, there are obvious deficiencies in his combat effectiveness. Long Qingxie didn't worry about it at all. With the cloud dancing, he seemed to have a lot of leisure. Little thing, do you think the palace is not lively? Long Qingxie sits lazily beside Yunwu, his breath wanders, his eyes are like enchantment, and he looks at her straightly. Well. Cloud Dance head also don't lift, continue to look at the Cloud Sun military art that oneself hold in the hand, absent-mindedly echo. There are no children in the palace. Well. Do you like children? Well. Let's get married. Well. Cloud Dance cu eyebrow, slightly raised to lift canthus, cold glanced at Dragon to pour evil one eye, what do you say? Let's get married. Long Qingxie puts his chin on Yunwu's shoulder and his eyes are blurred. You really know when? Yunwu took back her cold eyes and continued to look at the art of war. There is still blood in the air after the war. Is it a happy time to get married? That's better for you, isn't it? Dragon Qing Evil Sword Eyebrow a yang, the corner of the mouth dotes on to drown of tiny start. This little thing is destined to be reborn from blood. Blood attacks her body, but it can't attack her purity. Only the baptism of blood can make her nirvana and live. Isn't it always like this? You proposed in a very special way. Cloud Dance cold hum put down the book of war in the hand. Propose? Dragon Qing Evil slightly pick eyebrows, eyes across a trace of puzzled. Then he pondered and turned around, and the evil spirit said, then you agreed? Cloud Dance light glanced at him one eye, the fine on of the fundus of the eye but a flash but pass, promise still not easy, but I have a condition. Long Qingxie naturally noticed the calculation at the bottom of her eyes, and the corner of her mouth twitched helplessly. The conditions she put forward must be more difficult than going to heaven. What conditions? I'm the only one in your harem, and I won't have children in 3 years. Cloud dances toward him to pick eyebrow, the corner of the mouth conceals a smile, agree. Dragon Qing Evil smell speech, the facial expression suddenly a black, the black line of the evil face dignified, if don't promise. There's no way. Cloud Dance put away smiling face, cold said continue to open the book of war to read. So easily want to get married, who promised you? What's more, her body is only 15 years old. As a woman in the 21st century, I really feel that she is still underage. I promise. At this time, Long Qingxie's lazy voice was lifted in her ear. The cloud dances to turn over the hand of the military book, slightly Emile, looking back at the suspicion of glancing at him one eye, sure don't regret? As long as you don't regret it and guarantee your husband's life, you will never regret it. Dragon Qing Evil mouth open, smile mysterious, smile proud, smile let cloud dance heartbeat drum. Yunwu looked at the smile on the evil face, frowned slightly, and the light of her eyes darkened a little. The news of their marriage is bound to cause a sensation in the three kingdoms. After he took over the throne, there was only one person in the harem, which is expected to be the first time in mainland China. If there are no children after 3 years, it will be a mouthful. At that time, there will be a lot of rumors about the emperor's failure. Naturally, she won't mind that, but men will. Which man is willing to be said not to do that? Just think about the twisted face of Dragon at that time, she can't help but be happy. But how could he not mind at all? Looking at his smile, she always had a feeling that she was calculated by him. Then I will not go back. Yunwu resisted the feeling of displeasure and replied angrily. That's settled. Dragon Qingxie circle cloud dance into his arms, and a cat steals fishy light at the bottom of his eyes. It's better to believe that the pig will go up the tree than the man's promise a few days later. At the dawn, the whole mainland of China fell into hot waves. The first summoner of mainland China and today's dragon 3 princes are getting married. The news shocked and crushed the hearts of many people. In the palace of Zhou dynasty, the morning breeze was cool, and a silver robe was set off, cold and curled in the wind. Zhou Feiyu stood in front of the palace gate, with sharp eyes and deep, cool morning wind, a little more cold. Did she finally agree to him? I thought that at least there was a place to transfer that pair of hands with clear bones, with their backs behind them, cluck and creak. The sound of flesh and blood breaking, drops of blood dripping down the brocade robe on the ground, reflecting a withered color. I think that in addition to the obstacle of the national master, it will be safe to take back the state of Long Su, right? Long Qingxie, is life peaceful? You always feel not exciting enough. Then I'll give you something exciting. Yunwu, I've got it. Pass on the orders and attack Long Ziguo tomorrow. The awe-inspiring sound reverberated in the thin and cool air, and even the air seemed to condense for a moment. Your Highness, this. When does my command need your query? Zhou Feiyu glanced at the 5 colds, and there was no doubt that his words were dignified and cold. 5 cold Leng, then respectfully nod, subordinate immediately to do. Finally, Zhou Feiyu's eyes were frozen. Wuhan suddenly disappeared in the frozen palace. Not long ago, I just supported Long Shugua. Now, on the contrary, they are going to attack Long Shugua. Why on earth is this? Although Long Shugua's strength is greatly damaged, it can't be underestimated. The strength of the 9th lady alone can match the general strength of the Zhou dynasty, not to mention the kingdom of An against the current of the mid-air, vaguely lost a sigh. He knew that once the news came to his ears, His Highness would not have failed to act. He just didn't think about it, but it was so fast. Who on earth is this woman? She can make your Highness lose his sense of propriety. For her in the dim palace, there are 3 dark figures, 1 sitting and 2 standing. The hall under the candlelight is dim and vague, and the breath is dignified and numbing. It seems that there is an invisible sword spinning back and forth. What do you think of it? In the dreary bedroom for a long time, the serious voice with the meaning of killing drowned in the breath. Zhou Batian looked at the opposite Zhou Tianyu with his unsearchable eyes. His anger suppressed the 2 people. My father, my son thinks it's not appropriate to send troops at this time. We have never planned to attack Longshu. Although Longshu's strength is greatly damaged, it's hard for us to be 100% sure just by the relationship between Long Shao and the kingdom of An, plus a 9 lady. Zhou Tianyu lowered his head slightly, and saw a black line in his eyebrows. I have always been worried about the 2 identities of Long Shao and Cloud Dance Summoner. Unfortunately, it's not the place he's worried about at this time. Zhou Feiyu's awe-inspiring corners of his mouth were imperceptible. What do you think you should do? Zhou Batian turned his eyes to Zhou Feiyu. When I return to my father and emperor, my children's ministers think that it's time to make a decision, so as to avoid future trouble. Zhou Feiyu bowed slightly, respectful but still not humble. When Zhou Batian heard what he said, there was a slight change in the deep look of his eyes, which disappeared in the twinkling of an eye. I'll leave it to you. I hope it won't disappoint me. My son obeys the order. Zhou Feiyu leaned slightly and turned to leave the bedroom. Before leaving, he glanced at Zhou Tianyu intentionally or unintentionally. His eyes were calm, but Zhou Tianyu felt worse than humiliating him. He glanced at Zhou Feiyu's back. His eyes were cold and angry. His hands, which were stuck in the air, tightened slightly and then released. Without Xiaoyou's help, Zhou Feiyu can't cope with him. Outside the hall, the moon is bright, and the hall is dim as a candle. Although he walked under the bright moon, his figure was still lonely and dark. Bright moon night, the breeze, this moment seems to be a little dark, condensation of all the movement. Zhou Feiyu stops and coagulates the person on the opposite side. His sharp eyes pass by with a touch of darkness. Who? The one who can help the 7 princes. Like the voice of ice-cold coming, the ghost comes with a repressive dark atmosphere. Zhou Feiyu raised his mouth and pulled out a smile of sarcasm. Do you think I would use a person who volunteered? Of course, 7 princes don't use people casually, but don't they want to take Long Shugua? As long as you want, no one knows more about the plants and trees of Long Shugua than I do. The black-robed Mo Yibing lives in the night. If it wasn't for his plain and cold eyes, which reveal the pale frost color, it would be almost integrated with the night. Zhou Feiyu coagulated him for a moment, vaguely guessing who it was. Long Shugua's national teacher. However, at this time, Zhou Feiyu dropped his eyes slightly, and the meditation in his eyes passed by. After half a sound, Zhou Feiyu raised his eyes and said with a smile, if you don't get up early without profit, what's your profit? Life. Whose life? The dragon is evil. Oh. In the night of Qingmong, Zhou Feiyu covered his back with his hands, then take what you need. With pleasure, your highness. Mo Yibing bowed her head slightly and looked completely hidden under the black robe. At that moment, Zhou Feiyu's sharp eyes flashed a trace of coldness, a trace of doubt, a trace of disdain. In a twinkling of an eye, he disappeared into the night. In the pavilion, Zhou Feiyu's sharp eyes were clear and deep in thought. For the First World War in the near future, he always felt that there was something insecure in his heart. The feeling that he had not been clear at the bottom of his heart would soon have a complete answer. He wanted to know the answer, but he was afraid to know fearless battlefield, domineering as Blade, but only for her things, a lost, forbearance, fear, which is like him. Suddenly, there was a chill in his sharp eyes. Before long, he would never bear it again. In a short time. After the news of Yunwu and Longqingxi's marriage spread all over the world. Then, the news that the Zhou dynasty was about to send troops to Longziguo, like a bomb, pushed the hot discussion to the top again. Yun Lingyi, who has always had good relations with the DPRK and China, was quite shocked when he got the news. After meditating, he told Yunqi the news. When Yunqi got the news, he was furious. What does Zhou Feiyu want to do? Long Shugua has just been seriously injured, so he wants to take advantage of others' danger. Yun Lingyi frowned slightly and thought, he can attack Long Shugua so vigorously and support him behind. How can Yunqi not consider the way behind this? His angry eyes are cold for a while. There is a little worry in his eyes. This time, the emperor will attack Long Shugua secretly. He seems to be worried. Maybe attacking Long Shugua is just a cover to kill suddenly. The cloud Qimao light is deep, the eye bottom 10 million undercurrent flash. When does he fight to send troops? When we got the news this morning, we had already set out with our troops. Cloud cold e sink cold way. You son of a bitch, set out this morning, you just tell me now, if 9 wenches what happened, I take you to ask. Cloud Chi eyebrows a horizontal, strong voice, instantly shock through the whole cloud house. As soon as the words come out, when Yun Lingyi looks up and wants to say something, he can only feel the rapid air around him. At this time, where is Yun Qi? Yun Lingyi can't help sighing, but soon he follows the place where Yun Qi disappeared. Half a month later. 100,000 soldiers are in full swing. Zhou Feiyu looked at the vast forest in front of him. His sharp eyes flashed a trace of abnormality. Through the cracks of the forest leaf spots, he seemed to be able to imagine. Above the city, the purple clothes fluttered like flags. Soon, as long as you go through the woods, you can reach the first city on the border of Longziguo. He guessed that she should have been waiting for him there. Zhou Feiyu's cold lips could not help picking slightly. His reins were tight and his armor was cold. He sped through the woods. And Mo Yibing, who was following him, had already put on a suit of war clothes, with a mask on his face. Gallop, vaguely see the wall of the too extremely dazzling figure, his body of Mori cold Su Sha breath, fleeting. On the city wall, two figures stand next to each other, their clothes are absolutely floating, just like the standing battle flag. Yunwu looks at Zhou Feiyu galloping from his horse. He has a sneer on his lips and a clank of purple clothes. With the inherent clearness, he looks like a king overlooking. At the moment when Zhou Feiyu touched her, his eyes could no longer move away for a moment, the missing and imagination in his heart exploded in his body like a hot current, just like a volcano. Long Qingxia looks at Zhou Feiyu's cloud-dancing eyes, and the evil eyes pass by a light. His white fingers waved in the air, and suddenly there was a rumbling sound on the ground. In a flash. Inside and outside the city wall, archers surrounded the city, 3 stories inside and 30% outside, tightly encircling Zhou Feiyu's 100,000 troops. Just a few tens of meters in front of the archer is the bramble array. If you want to get close to the archer, either break the battle or die in the bramble battle. Zhou Feiyu's sharp eyes swept around and sneered. He looked up at Yunwu and said, "Follow me, I'll let Long Shugua go." Cloud dance condenses a hum, the corner of the mouth is raising to put on a sneer. On the wall, the proud flower, like a plum blossom, blooms in the space of the edge, without a trace of humble. What I hate most is being threatened. Do you think you can threaten me? Under the city wall, the battle armor in the wind suddenly coagulates. The silver light shines like a cold blade into the eyes of Cloud dancing, but she still smiles like a flower. You really don't care about the survival of Long Shugua. Zhou Feiyu is dancing in the clouds, and there is a trace of expectation in his sharp eyes. If she just doesn't want to be threatened, then there is no doubt about the existence of Long Shugua. Like the sound of cold ice, all of a sudden condensation. Cloud Dance takes back the eyes on Zhou Feiyu's body, glances at the dragon Qingxia around him, and slightly raises the corner of his mouth, leave him 3 points of room. Now is not the time to fight completely. She can clearly feel that the chilly smell from Long Qingxia's body and the smile from the corner of her mouth are gloomy, frightening and weird. After you've dealt with him, you can marry him. Long Qingxia smiles and winks at her. Cloud Dance complexion a black, is this a threat? Of course not. I don't know what threat is. Long Qingxia threw an extremely pure smile at the Cloud Dance. Killing Zhou Feiyu is bad for Long Shugua. What's she doing here? Of course, in addition, it is also because last time, Zhou Feiyu also came to support. Whatever. Cloud Dance sulks a low. Long Qingxia's smile deepened. He glanced at the archers around and made a prepared gesture. The cloud dances, and the black line looms on the forehead. The bows and arrows of these archers are specially made by the armory under his influence. When they encounter spiritual power, they will have the power of spiritual power to fight back. When Zhou Feiyu's troops break through the bramble array, the final result must be that both sides are defeated. If he is killing Zhou Feiyu, the Zhou dynasty will spare no effort to send troops. With the empty state of defense of Long Shugua, then, I promise. At the same second that Dragon Qingxia's palm moved slightly, Cloud Dance roared. Staring at Long Qingxia's black eyes, burning anger, a pair of slender fingers, slightly bent, eager to immediately ignore the image of him on the wall of a beating. You see, my husband said you would agree sooner or later. Dragon Qing evil got cheap also sell good, a face of happiness will put the head on the shoulder of Cloud Dance. The monster's face was full of pride, completely unaffected by the current situation. Long Qingxie's back is fierce all the time. He hums and looks up at Yunwu wrongly. Don't pinch your waist. If you pinch something, you'll be finished for the rest of your life. Shameless. Cloud dance low roar an elbow sun resist, the dragon on the city wall poor evil figure has already shrunk down. When the soldiers under the walls saw this scene, they all looked at each other and wondered what was going on. Has Long Shitzi been plotted? Is Miss Nine lurking in Longzuguo? They are fighting in the dark. God has eyes and the archers around saw this scene, although they still had no waves on their faces, but they beat a drum in their heart. What happened to the three princesses? If they knew that this was just a common scene of the couple flirting, they would probably die of vomiting blood seeing this scene. Zhou Feiyu's sharp eyes narrowed and the cold light suddenly appeared. Send out Cloud Dance looked at the city, the army of 50,000, mouth tightly pursed, purple pupil eyes micro-picked to the side of the deputy general said something. The lieutenant is ordered to leave. After a while, the army inside and outside the city joined hands. The loud fighting broke through the silence. The white blade is merciless, attacking blood, fighting armor, stepping on the bones, moving forward with blood. Don't worry, Your Highness. These 50,000 troops are enough to delay the archers. When they are solved, I will help Your Highness break this array. As soon as the backup troops arrive, no one can stop Your Highness. The voice of Mo Yebing is bland and cold. The words are to Zhou Feiyu, but his eyes are straight ahead. Yu Guang glances at the clouds and dragons on the city wall. Zhou Feiyu glanced at him and said, this array will be broken naturally. If you are limited to this, roll now. He glanced back at the soldiers behind him and said coldly, the rest are on standby. At the same second when the voice fell, Zhou Feiyu's body had leaped and his figure turned into a silver light. It's like a meteor. Once again, the silver figure was twisted, and the long sword was waving in the air, directly splitting the dragon on the upper floor of the city. Dragon Qing evil figure a tilt, dodge a blow, the hand Pei appears, in an instant attack. In the battle of white and silver, there are phantoms in the middle of the sky. The breath of the blade is lingering. It is constantly destroying and roaring. The whole city wall is in a mess. And all this, but no one else to intervene. It's just a moment when Yunwu stares at them. Suddenly, a touch of dark breath, suddenly rolling towards her, fierce Biao fierce. The cloud dances, and the eyes squint. In an instant, her purple figure whirled, her black flame sword waved in the air, and then her purple figure stepped back to avoid a fatal blow. Cloud Dance looked at the dark white bone in the air, and her purple eyes narrowed. Ink Night Ice? For a moment, a little doubt flashed in her mind. How could he be in Zhou Feiyu's army? Without waiting for her to think more, the strange figure of Mo Yebing came again. Probably because the serious injury has not recovered, although the speed does not reduce, the breath is a little dignified. Cloud Dance detected his abnormality, slightly a hook on the corner of his mouth, fire element attack die dagger, riding the speed of wind element, extremely strange force to Mo Yebing. Last time, I let him go, but this time I'm not so lucky. If I let you run today, my summoner's face will be gone. The fierce cold sound hovered in the sky. Echo echo, just in the blood of the soldiers filled in the heart of an exception. The three words, summon division, shocked the hearts of the soldiers of Longshu Kingdom, and put a layer of haze on the army of Zhou dynasty. Head blood, red walls, red this battlefield. Blooming in the sun, the red light is extremely dazzling. On the other hand, Yunqi and Yunlenji, who rush to the border of Longzuguo, are stopped by a group of people. Who are you? Yunqi gave a big drink, and his anger rubbed between his words. He rushed to Longzuguo to save Yunwu. No matter who got in his way, he would be angry. Mr. Cloud, please come with us. The man in the blue robe said respectfully. Well, let him wait. After Yunqi's loud voice, he wanted to go beyond them, but was blocked by the man's sword. Master Yun, don't let us be subordinates. Bang! The two swords collided, splashing a spark. As soon as Yunlingyi's long sword came out, he immediately returned to the scabbard again. Since he still claims to be a subordinate, he should not know what to do and what not to do. The man slightly bowed his head, seemingly humble, but still did not give in. Take it, please follow me. What if I don't? Did he give you an order to kill you on the spot? Cloud Chi thick eyebrow a low, sharp eye ground flits over a silk deep anger. The man bowed his head slightly, which was tacit approval of the answer. Yunlingyi and Yunqi are both shocked. How can they kill them? Good loyal for generations, but forced to this point, then go back and tell him that our cloud mansion has nothing to do with the royal family from today on. From now on, I will kill the old man. Yunqi snorts coldly, and he is completely cold to Zhou Batian. Although Zhou Batian is wise and shrewd, he is naturally suspicious and resolute. Sooner or later, the Zhou dynasty will be destroyed in his hands. Yunqi and Yunlingyi have already passed through the crowd. The people who intercepted them look at each other and don't force their hand to stop them. They all know that if they insist on going, they are not the opponents of Yunqi and Yunlingyi. However, I thought of Zhou Batian's order, and I must take them back. If I resist but they have to do it again, shua. More than a dozen long swords flashed with cold light. With sharp and evil spirit, they directly hit behind Yunqi and Yunlingyi. Two people back a cool, two eyes inside skim a trace of pain, as expected is like this. If they can be taken away, they will be taken away and used as a bargaining chip to threaten Yunwu's return to the Zhou dynasty. If they can't be taken away, they will go to the right place and eliminate all the cholera sources in the future. What a heartless monarch! When swords and swords collide with each other, they roar and hover like strife. What they vent is their coldness, and what they are dissatisfied with is their hearts. As the saying goes, 2 fists are hard to beat 4 hands. With more than a dozen bodyguards fighting in turn, Yunlingyi and Yunqi gradually feel a little tired. And those bodyguards, as if they had been given orders of life and death, had the momentum of never giving up. But at this time, the sky was filled with a layer of fiery light, and a sound of dragon roared all over the sky. With that strong power, it cut across the sky. The sky was like burning, spreading scarlet. Here, far away in the border city of Longziguo, it seems that all people also vaguely heard the arrogant sound of the dragon. Cloud danced to avoid attacking Ink Night Ice. Suddenly here Red Fire Dragon seems to be angry, eyebrows suddenly a. What's going on? Red Fire Dragon coming? Is something wrong with Yunfu? However, on second thought, the corner of her mouth was slightly raised, and her heart was released. With Fire Dragon in, Yunfu should be okay. And Red Fire Dragon leaves Cloud Mansion to arrive, estimate is to follow who came. Only hope Zhou Batian don't be too stubborn, otherwise the Fire Dragon starts to storm, she also has no full assurance to stop. But there was no worry in those purple eyes. On the contrary, they were looking forward to a good play. I've been shouting for thousands of times in my heart. Brother Long got angry and killed the people of Zhou dynasty. The Red Fire Dragon looked down at the dozen people with disdain in his eyes. Then he put his eyes on Yunqi, even these people can't beat. Don't say the summoner is your granddaughter. I feel ashamed for her. Cloud Chi thick eyebrow a horizontal, in the eyes clip anger, you this arrogant demon dragon, can help, can't help, don't pull cool in here. A loud voice almost shook most of the sky. Yunqi doesn't allow anyone to say that he has made Yunwu lose face. In his heart, he must be the pride of Yunwu. Can you manage what I like to say? These people can't beat me. I'm really saving your granddaughter's face. In a flash, a fire burst out from the mouth of the dragon. Like a column of fire, all the obstacles were burned, and the burning sound, the sound of sound, and the sound of sound, went straight to the dozen people. Ah ah! There was a howl. More than a dozen firemen were burning rapidly. The howling and tearing screams shocked the whole space. The burning sound of Zalala's flesh was creepy. In order to stop the red fire dragon's mouth, Yunchi wanted to solve several people's problems, but his hand was stuck in the air. Before we could make a move, in a flash, more than a dozen people were all burnt out. That's to save face for your granddaughter. Well, I'm too lazy to talk to you, old man. Your danger has been relieved. I want to go back. You are so weak that you dare to go out. If you die on the way, don't be lazy on me. Red Fire Dragon Super Tone Cold Hum A, turn body to leave. All the way, she didn't want to come, but she just promised to protect the Cloud family. But, for the sake of their father and grandfather, they think it's dangerous, so it's part of the way with them. Now that the danger is solved, he should go back and continue to protect the Wonan family. Anyway, 3 years later, he was free. In an instant, the burning red clouds disappeared and the blue clouds suddenly appeared. Cloud Chi congeals the place where the fire dragon disappears, and his eyes rub with anger. In the cracking combustion, people's disgusting burnt smell is diffused. Only Cloud Coldy's silent sigh, like sad, like helpless. Yunchi stares at more than a dozen people who are still dead in the fire. His eyes squint, and 100 kinds of complex thoughts pass by in an instant. He sighs helplessly and continues on his way. On the city wall, the smoke of gunpowder rises everywhere, and the power splashes, which makes the city wall a mess. Why are you in Zhou Feiyu's camp? I don't want to attract the attention of the Zhou dynasty. Dui Yunwu leaps back in the air, reverses the big knife and hits the ice in the dark night. So what? Mo Yebing's insipid voice with a strange curve is extremely cold. Oh, can you start from scratch if you've been a homeless dog? Cloud Dance slightly pick eyebrows, corners of the mouth cold forest smile, purple fighting volume magic bite power, hit again. Purple clothes flutter clank, the wind is cold, unspeakable natural and unrestrained. Bang! Two dark forces collided, spurting waves of aftershocks. There is a cold anger in the eyes of Mo Yebing. But at this time, the figure turns weird, and suddenly still appears behind Yunwu. When the void pinches, Yunwu just feels unable to move to fight back. I'll take your delicious power. The chilly voice floated into Yunwu's ears, with naked anger. Yunwu only felt a touch of gloomy and cold breath coming from behind. Dream of your lost dog. All of a sudden, her body was surrounded by dark breath, and a series of fuzzy black illusions appeared, like a black blade, constantly spinning around the clouds. The strange power that bound her was constantly eroded. Bang! It's a big noise. Purple figure suddenly a virtual, palm dark breath diffuse, a moment devoured the nearby gloomy bones. Pop, the crisp sound of broken bones sounded. Mo Yebing's face was twisted, and the blood was all over her eyes, which looked more ferocious. Cloud Dance Ling in the air, the corner of the mouth a yang, always eyes flat as a mirror of the national teacher, twist up unexpectedly so ugly. To die. The Ink Knight ice cuts teeth to coagulate 2 words, ferocious and gloomy mouse sun inside extremely angry surface. Oppressive darkness, suffocation. A twisted phantom void, like black silk, comes with incomparable strange power. The cloud dances, the eye ground passes a touch of coldness, the evil bite power suddenly rises, the half sky changes color suddenly, dim cover. On the other side. Long Qingxia lazily raised his eyes and looked at the sudden change of the sky. There was a trace of warmth in his eyes, and his white robe was awe-inspiring. It seemed that the life of the national master had come to an end. But Zhou Feiyu half kneels on the ground, the breath disorder. The Zhengzheng battle armor is dyed with blood color, and the eyes of the evil are staring at the dragon, as if seeing a certain prey. Touch to this not evade and of vision, Long Qing evil still a pair of Tai Shan collapse in front of but not disorderly look, the corner of the mouth is raising disdain of smile. Lazy provocative looking at Zhou Feiyu, waiting for him to take the initiative to challenge him. In that case, he will have a justifiable defense to kill him. He's more than enough to deal with Zhou Feiyu. He's just killing an ant. It's boring, but that moment. Suddenly, a cold current swept the eyes of the four people. The mighty power of the great martial arts master sprang up, and a sudden figure came out, as fast as lightning. All four of them were stunned for a second. Poof! Yunwu, who was fighting with Moibing, hardly had time to draw his hand. Behind him, he was hit by a dull blow. A touch of fishy and sweet overflowed, and his breath was disordered. He couldn't help bleeding in the air. And in the same second, Mo Yibing's eyes narrowed. Wow, a gloomy white bone hand, in a moment the backhand clenched Cloud danced that neck. This change, too fast. Yunwu can even feel the structure of the 5 white bones. The cold touch makes Yunwu's hair stand up, and the dark feeling of numbness comes to her. Dragon Qing evil a sea of this second, the facial expression suddenly anger change. Mo Yibing looks at the clouds dancing in front of her eyes, and the excited greed emerges in her eyes. You are in my hands at last. The delicious power of the summoner, the mysterious dark power, is the most delicious thing in the world. And he's in urgent need of it to make up for himself. I'll give you a good time. The eyes of ice in the dark night are full of greedy light. As long as you can get the power of Cloud dance, it seems that everything is not important. 5 cold, who let you hurt her? Zhou Feiyu, half kneeling on the ground, roared and hit the 5 colds hidden in the ice space of the ink night with a blow of gravity between his palms. His figure suddenly floated to the clouds. 1 second ago, Moibing was ready to swallow the power of Yunwu. The next second, the white figure of Dragon Qing Xia appears like a ghost, and the Ape sweeps across, forcing the ink night ice to let go of the Cloud dance. But Mo Yibing is in front of Yunwu. When the sword of Dragon Qingxia arrives at Yunwu, it stops abruptly. Mean. But at this time, the flying Zhou Feiyu, also at the same time, attacked from the other half of Chaoma Night Ice. Ink Night Ice Canthus angry flash, almost did not think, strong breath suddenly to Zhou Feiyu attack. Zhou Feiyu, on the other hand, takes the opportunity to recapture Yunwu from Mo Yibing and flies out with his body. Your Highness. 5 colds see this, not from exclamation. But it's too late. Long Qingxia takes advantage of Mo Yibing's attack on Zhou Feiyu to attack Mo Yibing. Bang! Suddenly, Mo Yibing was hit by the powerful force, and his figure, like an arrow, tumbled out of countless obstacles. Bang! Fly and land. Well, poof. Zhou Feiyu covers his chest and lies on the ground twisted. His mouth is full of blood, and his sharp eyes are full of blood. It's like a reflection of death. Cloud dance has a moment's signlang. But soon, he struggled with the constant tumbling power in his body and staggered to Zhou Feiyu. From the space, he took out the spirit elixir of the ancient town and approached his mouth. Eat it. Zhou Feiyu looked alienated and frowned. After digesting her words, he slowly opened his mouth and felt a cold object sliding directly into his stomach. And the figure of Dragon's evil spirit has swept to the ice body of Mo Yi. The Ape is in hand, and the sun is full of blood and silver. That pair of evil eyes, flashing the night like scarlet ghost, bloodthirsty very cold. In a moment, the Ape slashed in the air, cut a sharp, sonorous, steady into the heart of Mo Yibing. Mo Yibing's body, like a phantom, disappears in the same place. Only the sonorous Ape hummed and whirled in the sky. At this time, Yunqi and Yunlenji come all the way. Yunqi sees Yunwu at the first sight. After seeing that she's okay, she finally puts down her heart. 9 wenches, I'll give it to my grandfather. Yunqi pointed to the fighting soldiers and roared. Yunwu was frightened by the loud voice. She looked back at Yunqi, who was fighting in the crowd. She glanced at the direction of Dragon's evil, and looked down slightly. Cloud dance takes back the vision that puts in Dragon to pour evil there, the eye ground contemplates to pass by. With him to deal with Mo Yibing, she doesn't have to worry. She moved her eyes to Zhou Feiyu and looked at his face gradually recovering. Her frowning brows stretched slightly. How do you feel? Much better. Zhou Feiyu was a little surprised. The tumbling breath in his chest had calmed down. Except for the trauma, his body was as if he had not been impacted. He was killed just now. Cloud Dance seems to be a little surprised, purple pupil eyes tiny eye. Just a second before the Ink Knight was hit, the dark air in the air attacked her. Although I'm sure I'll beat the ice in the dark night, I'm not sure I'll escape the blow. And Zhou Feiyu appeared in an instant to block the blow for her. This blow is enough to kill instantly. He can still survive. What did he do? Cloud Dance locks her eyes on Long Qingxie, frowns slightly, and worries pass in her eyes. Is that crack of bone sound his? Cloud Dance will help Zhou Feiyu up, let him lean on himself, fundus complex gush over, like a sigh, retreat. Under the city walls, rivers of blood soaked the land and dyed half of the sky. See, those battle armor is awe-inspiring, blood attacked crazily, bloodthirsty mania swish, numb a knife to wave down. All over the corpses, bleak, why? Just for a bet. It's easy to withdraw. You come with me. Zhou Feiyu raised his eyes and glanced at her. The look of his eyes was self-evident. This face is as cold and beautiful as an immortal, which can't be profaned. It was the first time that he could see clearly. The feeling of being untouchable made his heart tremble. You should know that if you don't withdraw now, there's not much chance of winning. It's better to step back. Cloud Dance cold glanced at him one eye, the Mao light is dark, she hopes he can understand the meaning in her words. If you don't follow me, you will lose both sides. The Zhou dynasty can't carry it. I'll carry it. Zhou Feiyu is dancing in the clouds for a moment. She knows about his Warcraft troops. She should be able to understand what Long Shugua is facing if he carries them. His eyes are covered with a layer of haze. It seems that he wants to see a trace of concern for him in her eyes. Even if there is only a trace, but there was nothing in her eyes but indifference. Cloud Dance helps him to stand up, the breath around suddenly coagulates, the eye light is dark, slightly sharp, turns around and leaves decidedly. No matter what I owe you today, whether it's the Zhou dynasty or the state of Long Su, this human relationship will be different today. You mean if Long Shugua is defeated, you will follow me? Zhou Feiyu's eyes are bright. Cloud Dance looks back a smile, pure and cold way, don't say to have no that possibility, even if have, a corpse you want. She slightly picks eyebrow to ask, then again way, you want me to still can't give, even if die, the crown of the grave is also long sure. She decided to leave. The ragged purple clothes swaying with the wind, tearing and flying, happened to fall on Zhou Feiyu, the clothes with her blood, such as blood plum blossom, cold and proud unyielding. Just when Yunwu came to Long Qingxi's side, the heavy sword hummed and echoed, reflected on the strange and unpredictable eyes of Moibing, nailed to his body, and constantly echoed. Mo Yibing, who has been weird all the time, suddenly died. On the contrary, she felt a little too sudden. Are you all right? Cloud Dance glanced at the Ink Knight ice on the ground. Her eyes were cold, and she looked up at the dragon. Dragon Qing Evil immediately put away bloodthirsty cold eyes, a face of grievance for comfort lying on her shoulder, for her husband suffered a very serious injury. He raised his bleeding finger and shook it in front of the cloud. God knows, that finger is so badly hurt that he can squeeze out a few drops of blood only by pinching a few on his own, but Yunwu picked up his fingers, helped him blow, and said indifferently, do you feel better? Dragon Qing Evil Rogue nodded, blowing. Cloud Dance's forehead suddenly appeared black line, if not for knowing that his ribs were broken, she would press him on the ground and repair him well. Are you going to put the two armies on a standoff like this? Cloud Dance looks at the blood under the city wall and frowns slightly. Long Qingxie gathered the ruffian's look, and a mysterious smile flashed across his mouth. He doesn't care about the result of confrontation, I don't care about the result of confrontation, but some people do. If they don't guess wrong, they should have come. If not, in the Long Qing evil voice fell. Zhou Batian came with his troops bathed in blood. Behind him was the majestic army of the Zhou dynasty, which seemed to be in full swing. He's going to be tough like this. Cloud Dance slightly frowned, purple eyes swept a trace of doubt. Zhou Batian is not such a man with no sense of propriety. Why, hard or not depends on how to say it. Long Qingxie smiles at her, as if everything is in his expectation. In the current situation, Long Shugua has absolutely no advantage. What reason did he have to persuade Zhou Batian to kill two birds with one stone? How can he give up the best beginning of Long Shugua and the life of his enemy summoner? Cloud Dance glanced at the mysterious dragon Qingxie with mixed feelings. It's said that mysterious men are the most attractive. Why doesn't she feel this way? It's not much. Give this mysterious narcissistic and arrogant guy a chestnut meal. There is a confrontation between the two armies. Zhou Feiyu saw that Zhou Batian was coming all the way. With a wave of his hand and an order, the fighting stopped temporarily. Zhou Batian takes a look at Yun Qi and Yun Lengyi. His eyes pass angrily, and he turns to Long Qingxie on the city wall. At least it's like raising a father and a son. Why kill them all? Dragon Qing evil mouth swing out a smile, although said very embarrassed, look but not the slightest bit embarrassed meaning. You know what I want. Give it to me and let's take care of the world together. Zhou Beishan's hoarse and angry voice spread out. Long Qingxie's eyes were bloodthirsty. My answer is not to give, and you will not withdraw, right? Then don't withdraw. It will lose the face of the Zhou dynasty. The cloud dances to smell speech Lu may I see you, a don't know to exalt of guy, give a step still don't descend, a black heart of guy, these two people, tada. Boom, a burst of galloping footsteps, sonorous ground boom. Not for a while. With tens of thousands of troops, Situ Lan appeared in the rear of Zhou Beishan's army. All the way galloping, the natural and unrestrained figure was a little embarrassed, but it couldn't hide the light that couldn't be ignored. When Zhou Batian saw the Situ Lan, his pupils suddenly shrank. Will you come to this muddy water, too? Low voice, Li Mao deep anger. You said it's muddy water. It's good to fish in muddy water, isn't it? Situ Lan didn't mean to pick eyebrows. He seemed to feel that this trip was right. Zhou Beishan's face changed when he heard the speech. He was very gloomy. In the face of the front and back attacks of Longshu Kingdom and An Kingdom, if he still does not withdraw his troops, he will not have to wait for Nangangshui's prediction to come true, and the Zhou dynasty will be doomed today. But just now Long Qingxie said that, if the troops were withdrawn, the face of the Zhou dynasty would be swept away. This is a choice to fight against dignity. In the Zhou dynasty, hundreds of thousands of soldiers were killed and wounded. The rest of the soldiers were tired when they saw the army supported by the kingdom of An. If we continue to fight like this, we will only increase unnecessary death. Why did he come? Cloud Dance saw a dragon to pour evil, put the vision on C2 Lan body. Isn't he supposed to have returned to the kingdom of An? How can we take the army to Longziguo overnight? All the time, isn't it? Dragon Qing evil toward her evil spirit smile, the smile of the corner of the mouth is particularly shining. Cloud Dance coagulates the fuzzy figure, and a touch of meditation passes through the eyes. This Situ Lan is a man with great power, but he spared no effort for the sake of dragon's evil. Is it true brotherhood or another deal? On one side, Zhou Feiyu also puts his eyes on Situ Lan. It seems that everyone is surprised at this sudden arrival. Your Highness, a group of people broke into the Zhou dynasty and tried to burn the grain and grass. They can't live in. Wu Han said with a frown. Who? Yes, it's Long Shao. They say it's already given the Zhou dynasty face. It is not impossible for the Zhou dynasty to take over the next week's dynasty in one fell swoop. Now the Zhou dynasty is facing enemies on three sides. This wrong and anxious decision is likely to destroy the Zhou dynasty. Zhou Feiyu got the news, and Zhou Batian naturally knew about it. Withdraw. Zhou Batian gave a low drink, and his anger was suppressed, which made the atmosphere of the battlefield suddenly end. Zhou Feiyu raised his eyes and gazed at the cloud dance on the city wall. He couldn't say anything. When I pacify the Zhou dynasty, even with the most despicable means, I will keep you by my side. The silver light was gradually blurred as the armor rolled. Dust, dust. Half a ring. Under the city, the silence is as before, but the smell of blood is still diffuse. Cloud Dance watched Zhou Batian troops leave, purple pupil eyes disappear, lift eyes looking at the dragon's evil side face, eyes a deep, he won't find any clues. Even if you find out, you won't come back. Don't worry. The dragon tilts the evil demon's face and smiles at her. You know what I'm worried about. I said, don't worry. You'd better think about what to wear when you get married. Long Qingxie's eyes are full of meditation. Nanganji takes people to sneak into the military camp of the Zhou dynasty. Except Nangangshui, they should not be found by others. Under the sunshine, the blood is especially scarlet. Long Qingxie and Situ Lan look at each other with a smile, which contains everything. This war caused a sensation in the mainland of China. After 2 battles, Long Xugua became famous. Long Yaozi intends to let Long Qingxie inherit the throne. When Long Qingxie sees good things, he takes them away. He releases his hand and raises his smile, which is comparable to the radiance of the sun and the moon. I'll go to prepare for my husband and come back early. Cloud Dance tiny jaw head, just want to turn around to leave, but fiercely look back to see to dragon poor evil, the eye ground is cold, don't let people follow me. I'm worried about your safety for my husband. When she found out his plan, Long Qingxie's eyes were slightly surprised and touched her cold eyes with a flattering smile. If I find out someone is following me, your worry will happen. Cloud Dance white he one eye, turn round natural and unrestrained left. She doesn't know about him. This little thing, I really don't understand the customs. Long Qingxie looks at the figure that wipes to leave, the eye ground passes a silk to spoil, from the Nan of said A. His voice was very low, but Yunwu heard it. Cloud Dance raises the corner of her mouth and puts away her drooping eyes. With her understanding of him, he must be afraid of her halfway to the runway, so he will send someone to follow her secretly. If he can't find the best, he will say it's protection. Yunwu shakes his head slightly, and a trace of helplessness passes through his eyes. Where is the man's self-confidence? After leaving the state of Longxiu, Yunwu flew to the Zhou dynasty with Jinling alone. The wind whistling, tearing in the ear, issued a hissing roar, but the haze cannot be her good mood. Since she came to the mainland of China, she almost forgot how many times she had fought. Every time she was gambling on her life, and every time she was black and blue, she was extremely embarrassed. Just to survive in this strange world where martial arts are respected. In order to let those who owe her return what they owe. And she did it all. But, since when, she became stronger no longer simply to survive, but to be a woman worthy of him? All the efforts are not for this result. She fulfilled her promise and became a woman who could go forward with him. The howling wind whispered in her ear, and the smile on the corner of her mouth drifted away with the wind, and the perfect radiance reflected in the air, as if even the air was rippling. However, before approaching the imperial city, Yunwu asked Jinling to go back first and put on horses instead of walking. The archetype of Jinling's gold carving is too eye-catching. After the war between Zhou dynasty and Long Ziguo, it's better to keep a low profile when we go back at this time. But it wasn't long since I changed to a horse. All of a sudden, the smile at the corner of Cloud Dancing's mouth suddenly froze, and the watery eyes suddenly narrowed. Just in front of her fast horse, a man in a gray robe lay motionless on the ground. His heart was shocked, and the tragedy of stepping on his heart flashed through his mind. She shivered fiercely, waved away the messy fragments in her mind, looked at the shadow, and roared coldly, "Those in front don't want to die, get out of the way quickly." As soon as the voice fell, she pulled the reins fiercely, and the hurricane-like horse roared, almost turned over. Cloud Dance has fallen from the horse. At that moment, Cloud Dance's eyes a cold, all-around cold anger breath suddenly rise. The man in the gray robe was still lying on the ground, and the runaway horse, with its front hooves in the air, just waited to fall and step on his heart. This horse is said to be the wildest of the horses. Apart from being fast, everything else is a disadvantage. If this one front hoof goes down, that person does not die, also must be disabled. Suddenly, the purple shadow remained, and the purple fighting spirit pierced the air like a sharp blade, spinning its edge and galloping away. Hiss. There was a loud hiss. With a bang, the horse's strong body fell to the ground, struggling and twitching. Cloud Dance glanced at the abandoned horse, dyed purple eyes with a touch of sullen anger, looked back at the gray-robed man on the ground, and the cold and angry breath around was sharp. If the man is still sleeping, she will let the land under him become his eternal bed. Just when Yunwoo came to the man and just wanted to kick him, he touched the familiar face, and his feet, which were standing in the air, suddenly froze. Shangguan. Cloud Dance slightly frowns, the eye bottom passes a doubt, what does he lie here in broad daylight? Her mouth raised a bad smile, one foot fell on Shangguan, constantly rubbing and trampling. Well, do you want to step on me? Feel the body is constantly ravaged, Shangguan murmured a low roar. Obviously, he was very angry with this uninvited guest. He was chased and killed all the way. He fainted here. When he woke up, he went to sleep again. What's the matter with her? Shangguan felt that his foot hadn't moved away. His uninhibited eyes flashed a chill. He suddenly turned over and looked at the people above. After touching the Cloud Dance, he could not speak for a moment. You. I what? Lying here in broad daylight, afraid of being trampled to death. Cloud Dance doesn't have good spirit of stare him one eye, looking at the distance already disabled horse, Phoenix Mao tiny cold. Shangguan sat up and looked at Yunwoo. His uninhibited eyes flashed a touch of joy. I didn't expect that we met again. Cloud Dance micro frown, at first leave without saying goodbye, like the world evaporated in general, now suddenly appear, this person seems always mysterious. Suddenly, under the baptism of the sun, she found that Shangguan's face was a little pale. When she looked at it carefully, she found that there was no blood. After exploring, she knew that he had suffered internal injury. Was he just in a coma? Why doesn't she feel it? Who hurt you? Cloud Dance willow eyebrow a low, star Mao inside flit a silk don't understand, the upper official's strength she knows, can he hurt the person is very few, can't it be someone to plot? It's a shame to say it, or not. You what are you going to do? Shangguan looks at Yunwoo suspiciously. Looking at the horses not far away, does she want to barbecue in broad daylight? Ha! The sound of the belly growling. The Cloud Dances the eye ground cold on to pass, abandoned her horse, he still wanted to eat idea. Shangguan flashed an embarrassment at the bottom of his eyes. In a twinkling of an eye, he resumed his unrestrained smile. I've been chased, and I've been in a coma. I haven't eaten for 2 days. Being chased? Didn't you get hurt by a conspiracy? The cool and flowing light in her eyes is dim. Is she a person who needs to pay for her life? At that moment, the air around changed. A sharp wind swept, with a kind of condensation, more and more obvious. Go. Shangguan's eyes suddenly surprised. Chaoyun dances to pick her eyebrows and signals her to leave. Cloud Dance congealed his one eye, clear and cold flash but pass, the corner of the mouth raises a touch of cold smile, both hands ring chest, don't want to leave of meaning. Go, he won't kill me. Seeing you will kill you. Shangguan roared, rarely, Yunwoo saw a trace of anxiety that never appeared in his eyes. No one can leave. Without waiting for the Cloud Dance to speak, a shadow came down in the clouds, with the breath of a god. The sound, however, seems to have come from thousands of miles away. Cloud Dance looked at the figure that fell from the sky, hard a shock. It was a man in a silver robe, about 30 years old. The only thing that shocked her was that the robe with silver light was as soft as silver. It was cool and dazzling. Such luxurious clothes, such momentum. It seems that some people don't look like people from mainland China. Is Cloud Dance slightly pick eyebrows, eyes light mi, is it upper bound? At this time, the man went to Yunwu and looked at Yunwu for a while. He couldn't tell what the complicated color was, so he crossed Yunwu and went to Shengguan. You can't escape. Come back with me. Cloud Dance micro-frown, Fundus is not easy to detect a trace of danger. It was the first time that they met, but the way he looked at her didn't look like the first time. On the contrary, he felt like an old friend. What's the matter with this strange feeling? Let her go. I'll go back with you. Shengguan stood up and looked at the man. There was a rush of worry in his dark eyes. Since we meet so coincidentally, we have to take both back. The calm tone has no waves, but the cool breath can cool into the bones. Then take me a corpse and go back. Shengguan snorted coldly, and a pale smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. It's no use forcing me. You should know that you can't die if you want to. The man heard a joke when he was portrayed, and had no response to the word, death. Qingma, what do you want? Shengguan dark eyes because of his words cold anger a few blood, hoarse voice almost crazy roar. Take both of you. He answered his question. You. Shengguan was blocked by his reply for a while, but he could not say anything. Cloud Dance mouth died with a fuzzy smile, lazy look a convergence, eyes cold emerge. No matter what happened, Shengguan always looked like a romantic and idle man. He never lost control of his anger like now. She was almost sure that the man named Qingma in front of her must be a terrible man, a man who is calm on the surface and cold in the heart. Everyone speaks according to his ability. If he has the ability, what can he do? Cloud Dance walks to the side of the pure Mo, lift Mao to stare at him one eye way, although don't know we have what gratitude and resentment between, but you want to do what, I accompany in the end. Qingma calm face with a hint of provocation, I'm only responsible for taking you away, as for what you want to do, after you go with me, naturally someone will tell you. Just when Yunwu wanted to take out the black flame sword, Shengguan took her hand and shook her head slightly. Her eyes stopped her, you are not his opponent. I know that, but do you think he can let us go if I give up? Instead of doing so, we'd better fight for it. Anyway, he doesn't dare to kill us, does he? The Cloud dances the corner of the mouth coldly to emerge, looking at the pure Mo sarcastically. Originally he is also just an errand to handle affairs. His attitude towards Shengguan was a little puzzling. Shengguan threatened him with his life, which showed that this person would not hurt Shengguan. As for her, since she was his master, he had no right to kill her. In this case, it's better to make a blog. Maybe the blind cat can really meet the dead mouse. I can't. It's a hero to surrender. It's better to meet than to hear about it for a long time. No wonder he will be planted in your hands. He has a little courage. The corner of Qingma's mouth pulls out a touch of radiance and looks at Yunwu as if he has seen a friend for a long time, but he doesn't have that kind of kindness. On the contrary, he is extremely lonely and cold. Cloud dance, a touch of contemplation, ink night ice. He's from the Beast Gate. But his strength is much higher than that of Mo Yebing. Is he the master of Mo Yebing? Cloud dance Phoenix Mouse suddenly surprised. Ink Night Ice is just a chess piece. Is the real boss above him? How is that possible? Isn't the Gate of Beasts dead? Upper bound? Cloud dance frowns slightly, let her go. Shengguan congeals with Qingma, and the coldness of his eyes emerges. Since she wants to have a try, how can I not help her? Qingma glances at Shengguan. With a flick of his fingertips, Shengguan looks surprised. As soon as he wants to say something, he falls unconscious on the ground. Yunwoo looks at the white crescent moon in front of Shengguan's forehead, and she is surprised. She is almost sure that this is the power of Shangjie people. Before that, can you answer me a question? Yes, of course. Yunwoo frowned slightly and said coldly, what's the reason why you don't let me go? This. The Qing Mo deeply congealed cloud dance one eye, smile, the jade pendant on your neck is good, no matter it is exterior or interior, it is first-class goods. He said something that seemed completely irrelevant. Yun Wuwei is stunned and glances down at the jade pendant on her neck. It seems that the jade pendant has existed since she was sensible. Yun Qi says that her mother left it to her. Cloud dance concealed the meditation in the eyes, the corner of the mouth a cold, how can I listen to all nonsense? Suddenly, a strong breath of black flame rolled out, and the sonorous force swept all the momentum, across the air, straight to Qingma. For a moment, Dageo split his body in two. Yunwoo hesitated for a second. It couldn't be so easy. When she touched Qingma's face, she was surprised. He was laughing at that moment, the body was cut off suddenly disappeared, cloud micro a consternation. Is as like as two peas. And she didn't even see when she left, it seems that you let me down. Qingma's insipid voice rang out behind her. Yunwoo is surprised. When she turns around, Qingma appears beside her at a strange speed. Although there is a silver clean light around his body, Yunwoo feels so dark and strange. With a wave of Qingma's hand, a touch of silver cold light appeared, shining into the cloud purple pupil eyes, and then the moment of being blurred by the silver light, the purple figure flew out in the air. Cloud Dance looked at the silver figure, eyes bloodthirsty scarlet suddenly appeared, just a palm, she was like a doll, casually lost. Your uncles. Do you really think I'm a sick cat? Wind element wrapped body, flying figure volume in the wind element, suddenly stopped. Kang. The sound of knives sinking into the earth. Yunwoo frees up his hands and takes up 3,000 green silk. He is capable and domineering. His eyes are cold and calm. He is as quiet as a god and as calm as Mount Tai's Qingma. He thinks to himself that he is such a loser and so calm. It's better not to show any embarrassed appearance for a while. Qingma looks at her arrogant appearance, the corners of her mouth move slightly, as if pulling out a smile. Few people have seen his strength, but the more frustrated the more brave. This woman really has some arrogant capital. Cloud Dance holds the big knife, the corner of the mouth lin out a touch of edge, bloodthirsty pupil Mao Yao Yi, although take out your ability to come. Knowing that she is not his opponent and that she will fail, she still chooses to fight with her life. Not because she is stupid, but because she can't escape. She doesn't have the habit of working hard with unimportant people, but he is an unimportant person. Of course, if he can run, the sole of his feet will be smeared with oil, but now he can't run. Hongling, Lan Yu, Zai Lukaku, Bakshuir, get out of here. The cloud dances low to roar a, from the space put them 4. As soon as these little guys come out, they will be able to wipe out the deadly atmosphere in an instant. Ma. The little stink that came out first, of course, had to rub around her neck every time. Cloud Dance looked at the clothes ravaged by little stink, but shook his head. And Hongling is still drooping a head on her shoulder, eyes pitifully looking at the opposite Qingma, as if to say, Master, I'm hungry. Lan Yu is just like a saint fighter, standing behind her left step by step, protecting her very kindly. And on the right is Bai Shuer. Yunwoo's face turns black. How can you feel that this scene doesn't look so beautiful? After touching the corner of Qingma's mouth with a little smile, the cold anger on Yunwoo's body finally appears, and he glances at several guys. She let them out to fight, not to punish her. Yunwoo grabs Xiaoqiu and Hongling and throws them in the air. Bing Han says, prepare for the war. Small stink in the air hit a few roll, steadily fell on the leaves of Hongling. Hongling wanted to throw it away, but the next second she opened her mouth and swallowed it directly. Make you stink all day long. Hongling, with a little stink, mumbles and mumbles, and the corners of her mouth are very suitable to flow all over the place. Little Stink resisted in Hongling's mouth. Suddenly, Hongling's mouth was covered with smoke, and the choked Hongling had to spit out the Little Stink. You Stink, dare to set fire in my mouth. Hongling stares at Stink. As soon as I opened my mouth was red and gloomy, but now it was black by the thick smoke. As soon as I spoke, I kept smoking. The scene is like a chimney. You're going to eat me. Small Stink is not willing to be outdone, and looks up at Hongling angrily. Cloud Dance sees, purple pupil Mao more and more dark, chilly anger seems to burn to Red Ling and Small Stink there, two guys fiercely not Ding beat a shiver. Touching the eyes of Yunwu, they glanced at each other unhappily. They stood in line and lowered their heads, as if they were admitting their mistakes. Cloud Dance forehead blue veins emerge. Shouldn't she call these two little guys out? Summoner. It's the first time we've met. Qingma looks at the Cloud Dance, the light of the plane eye brushed one eye contract beast, the corner of the mouth slightly moves, the smile is fuzzy. Does that mean he knew she was a summoner? People in the human world know that she is a summoner. After so many things, it's not surprising. However, people in the upper world also know that she is a summoner, isn't it strange? Well, I hope we won't have the chance to meet again. The Cloud dances coldly, the voice falls. Rubbed, a touch of purple phantom passing, with the dark atmosphere of the attack die, sharp speed. In a flash, the four guys quickly entered the combat state. Small Stink and Red Ling use their own fire, attack the dark atmosphere, with the anger of heart to heart, directly attack Qingma. Then a hurricane appeared. All of a sudden wrapped the body of flying clouds. The hurricane is fierce and swift, wrapped in the shadow like a sharp blade, exquisite and fast cannot be caught. Thorn. The sound of clothes breaking. Qingma looking at the shoulder was cut clothes, calm eyes a cold swept, unexpectedly cut his clothes. And the thing that feels extremely elastic and chilly behind is the water element, right? The reason why water element can exist invisibly is that it is hidden in the boundary of space. It's just that there's ice in the water, which is unique. It's a little interesting. As soon as Qingma's hand was lifted, the silver sword appeared, with extremely dazzling light. It's like the most dazzling color in the cold land. It's cool to the bone. Yunwu watched the sharp and icy silver sword attack. The corners of his mouth were bloodthirsty, his hands were close, and his eyes were slightly closed. In mid-air, a flaming red sword appeared. Go. The Cloud dances low to drink A. The red sword seems to get an order general, straight toward the silver sword that flies in the air to stab. Yunwu looks at the two sword shadows intertwined with each other, frowns slightly, and sees the red flame disappear in the cold. What a powerful force. Cloud dance heart a shock, in the eyes of a glimmer of clear, as if found to deal with the source of Qingma martial arts. The two people who are still fighting are more and more fierce and uneasy. The smell is cool, and the smell of blood is gradually spreading. Blood-stained purple, embarrassed figure appears, but to bloody confrontation, faster speed. The sky and the earth suddenly changed color, the silver cold light and the dark things did not squat to devour each other, and the two sword shadows fought like fire and tea. Qingma's plain eyes were surprised. He didn't expect that she could fight against him for such a long time. It was a mess that had been destroyed by the power of silver. And her figure is also embarrassed. I thought this would be the end, but I didn't expect that he would be so embarrassed by her. Looking at the messy silver robe on his body, Qingma's eyes narrowed slightly, a trace of danger ran across. It's the first time. She really can't stay. Just as he was about to take the hand, a powerful hand grasped his action. It's Shangguan. Finally give you a chance, take me away, let her go, don't make the decision you regret. Shangguan is cold and stares at Qingma. His breath is cold and dark. Clear mo calm mouth sun inside of kill intention hidden, the corner of the mouth slightly up, seem to smile, since so, that go. Cloud dance's eyes pass by a little doubt, and it's over. He vowed to take away his determination. The clear mo finally coagulated Cloud dance one eye, the clear smile way, look forward to the next time to meet, I will wait for you. Do you think that fighting or retreat is all you do has the final say? The cloud dances low to roar to sink the strength of anger to thump suddenly for. She waved a big knife, hit and fall, they left on the road of a gully. She can't accept Shangguan being taken away because of her. Even if she knows that she can't win, she will feel better after blocking her life, instead of being slaughtered like this. Looking at Shangguan being taken away. You guys, stop them. I'll kill anyone who leaves. Strong ZZ force rolled out again, whistling in the pull. Cloud Dance seems to hear a sigh of the Shangguan. Sooner or later, you have to leave. Why do you suffer? What do you mean? Yunwu frowned slightly. In an instant, a flash of possibility flashed through his mind. Does his identity really have something to do with Shangjie? You don't know what to do. Qingma voice a cold, it seems that some anger, around the plain air are a ripple. The cloud dances the corner of the mouth to raise to put on a bloodthirsty sneer, finally unload that god general camouflage. It turned out that under the disguise, it was such an unpleasant face suddenly, the silver hurricane came out, like sparks, lightning, thunder, with strange speed, spread to the clouds. But in mid-air, suddenly cut off by a gray figure. Bang! The two powerful forces collided, splashing out a after wave, pulling the cloud dancing skirt, but it was hard to open a few openings. The cloud dances to hang Mao to glance a skirt to put, Mao light inside flit to wipe surprised. I can't help looking up at the Shangguan. Is that his strength? Well, let's go. Shangguan frowned, with a sharp and dignified low voice, and a cold look stopped Qingma who still wanted to fight. Qing Imo smell speech, the corner of the mouth slightly a hook, put down the action in the hand. Cloud dance frowned eyebrow tip a pick, eyes streamer meditation 100 turn, clear Mo actually listen to the official's order. What is the identity of Shangguan? Xiao Wu, let's go. I hope we won't meet again. Shangguan looks back at Yunwu, with a wild smile on his eyes, picking her eyebrows slightly, as if there is something in her words. Cloud dance slightly frown, the Mao light inside flit as silk don't understand, he is hope she don't appear in upper bound. What's the consequence of going with him? Cloud dance coagulates Shangguan, and his eyes are full of thoughts. She wanted to know if there would be any unbearable punishment waiting for him when he went back to the place where he was trying to escape. No one can do anything about me, but what I want is freedom. Well, it doesn't matter. Remember, I'll see you later. Shangguan winked at her, turned around and disappeared in Yunwu's sight. Before leaving, Qingma stares at her for a while, as if she wants to see something in her body. It's the kind of sharp eyes that can see through everything. With that smile like ice blossom, two figures left her sight one after another. The cloud dance draws back the line of sight, droops the eye to ponder. Upper bound. What kind of place is that? It seems that there are many things about her in the upper world, which she can't understand. Ma. Small Stink looked at Shangguan and Qingma left, put away the ferocious appearance, peep 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 of Chaoyun dance rushed to attack. Round Gulu's body a drag, let a person can't help to trample on. Yunwu put away her contemplative eyes, looked at the little Stink, and sighed a little. Her strength is far from enough, just like today, even with all her strength, it doesn't seem that she can win that person. And he is just a person who works for others. The strength of her master Cloud Dance almost can't imagine, what has the strength reached? Is it possible to pierce your throat and kill you with one small finger? If so, is her current strength like a joke? I'm really depressed, Ma. Small Stink see Cloud Dance ignore him, holding Cloud Dance clothes, pitiful again soft cry. Yunwu's forehead is black, and the little thing is endless, master, throw it into the cesspit. It stinks. Hung Ling despised a glance at the small Stink, probably because did not eat food and angry. Little Stink jumped to the leaves of Hung Ling and showed his teeth, you stink to death. You dare to eat me just now, I'll kill you. You dare to scratch my face, believe it or not, I will bite you to death. How dare you? Two guys started again. Cloud Dance sighed, quickly lost them in the contract space, to fight back to the space. Please fight. She looked down at her embarrassed appearance at the moment, frowned slightly, and then looked at the dead crazy horse, her eyes suddenly cold. However, Cloud Dance also does not plan to use what to take the place of step, direct oneself flies. In the messy wind, the residual smell of blood is still diffuse, and the purple figure has swept out dozens of feet. That messy fighting traces, but also publicity, leaves fluttering, who see will know that this is a wonderful duel. In Yunfu. Since the last time they were intercepted by the group who claimed to be sent by Zhou Tianyu, Yun Qi, and Yun Lingyi have become idle people. Since the last attack on the state of Long Su and the return to the Zhou dynasty, the civil war between Zhou Feiyu and Zhou Tianyu continued. It is well known that the court is big and small, and Zhou Badian knows about it, but he can do nothing about it. And Yunqi and Yunlengji don't care about the affairs of the court. They don't care about the gate. Every day in the sun, a small life is also comfortable, and the protection of Red Fire Dragon, let alone worry about what assassins will assassinate Yunfu and so on. What's more, after the last assassin's business, who is still an idiot sent to the door to be killed. Under the warm sun. After a touch of wind, a purple figure suddenly appeared in the back garden of Yunfu. In the pavilion. Yunqi, who is basking in the sun, suddenly feels shocked. His old nose seems to smell the smell of cloud dancing. He opens his eyes and sits down in the reclining chair. A look at the opposite person, not Cloud Dance, who can it be? 9 wenches, are you back? Cloud Chi big voice a pull, surprise of shout away. I wish I could tell everyone that Yunwu came back. In those fierce eyes, I wish I could squeeze out 2 tears, one full of old tears. Yunwu frowned slightly, and a trace of helplessness flashed in the bottom of her eyes looking at Yunqi's excessive surprise. He sighs. Haven't we just met as 9 wenches, this time back? Do you plan to fight in this period of time? Seeing that Yunwu didn't speak, Yunqi spoke again. Without this girl, I always feel less fun. Even if there are other girls in the house, but I just feel empty and stuffy. Cloud Dance's eyes are dim. The old man feels depressed. Do you want her to relieve him? Looking at Yunqi's face, which is a little older than before, his eyes are slightly dark. It seems that he should have considered a lot of things these days, right? No matter what the result is, as long as they don't play for the Zhou dynasty, everything will be easy. What's more, this time back, she did bring a surprise news back. I'm getting married. Cloud Dance a word, Stay Leng is 2 people. There's another Yunlengji who came back from Yunwu in a hurry after a long time of silence. It was quiet and frightening, not like the atmosphere of hearing the good news, get married? With whom Yunqi's thick eyebrow is picked, blowing beard and glaring swept Cloud Dance up and down again, but the fundus of the eye is uncontrollable excitement. Cloud Dance slightly frown, some helpless indifferent way, this also need to say. Long San, that boy's grandfather really doesn't look good. Too treacherous and scheming, but 9 girls are almost the same, so my grandfather agreed first. Yunqi nodded, and the smile of the corner of his mouth bathed in the light of the setting sun, which broke Yunwu's eyes. Cloud Dance forehead black line emerge, this grandfather, is reverse say she. Is she treacherous? Do you have a plan? Why doesn't she feel, when we get married, we must go? When Yunlengyi learns that Yunwu is going to get married, his serious face lightens a lot, but he doesn't know what to say. He was both happy and strange to this daughter. He is glad that his daughter is so outstanding. He is strange to Yunwu, and his indifference and alienation are everywhere. Coupled with his serious nature, the relationship between them is doomed to be limited to Yunqi. Cloud Dance calmly looked at Cloud Cold one eye, similarly indifferent slightly jaw head. When do you get married? I'll go tomorrow. There are many things to do inside and outside. We are the only family in our family. Of course, we have to go ahead of time to support the scene. Yunqi gives a big drink of Yunlenji, hoping that the real Yunfu will tremble. He takes a cold glance at Yunlenji, and the dislike around him becomes more and more obvious. Yes. Cloud Cold slightly bowed his head, flat back a sentence. I'll go and talk to Brother Long first. Yunwu glances at the sleeping red fire dragon over Yunfu, and his eyes flash by. Maybe it has designated the 3 people in Yunfu, including Yunwu, as a safe area. As long as it is not strange, it can continue to sleep safely. So after Cloud Dance appeared, it had no reaction at all. Cloud Dancing Dragonfly leaped on his back like water, with a bad smile on the corner of his mouth, a hand close to his ear and a fierce pull, ah. The red fire dragon's song was deafening. Who's pulling my ear again? I'm going to kill you. After feeling the smell of Cloud Dancing scattered on his body, Red Fire Dragon's angry face suddenly collapsed. Why are you back? Red Fire Dragon's eyes narrowed and glared at the Cloud Dance on her back. It didn't seem to be very happy for her to come back. It's no wonder that every time he comes back, his posture of being the best and the most handsome is lost by Cloud Dance. The Cloud dances the corner of the mouth to die to smile, the vision is dense, takes the fine on to glance at the red fire dragon, then attached in its ear to say what? No. I don't agree. Red fire dragon's anger once again vibrated. All of a sudden, the whole space is only a condensation, followed by turbulence ripple vibration. I'm afraid you can't help disagreeing. Cloud Dance slightly pick eyebrow, both hands ring chest ride on red fire dragon neck, looking down at his anger rub ran appearance, eyes cunning point mi. How could the red fire dragon not know that the summoner could force the contract? The last thing I want to see in my life is the summoner. Don't make me angry. The whole Zhou dynasty fell into a panic when the red fire dragon roared. Everyone said that the red fire dragon began to destroy the Zhou dynasty. Also, the roar of the red fire dragon was enough to make the Zhou dynasty into a panic, let alone the angry dragon chanting one after another. In the back garden of Yunfu. The 3 elders and Yunqi look at this man and beast, and their faces are not very good looking. They are thinking about what Yunwu said to Red Fire Dragon, which makes him so excited. At the same time, they are worried about Red Fire Dragon, for fear that Yunwu might not be able to subdue him. The last thing you want to see is a summoner? Huh? Then who let you out? Cloud Dance's eyes narrowed, the color of warning appeared at the bottom of his eyes, and the smile at the corner of his mouth was a little chilly. He grabbed Red Fire Dragon's ear and began to educate him. Lousy. Red Fire Dragon thought, Aurora did not call out, she really put him out, then I do not agree. Cloud World imprisoned me, you let me go, too clear. Oh, is it clear? Cloud Dance's strength on the hand is tight, the eye light is cold frost, the ray of light passes by. Do you say 2 feelings are too clear? What can you do if I don't let you go? Red Fire Dragon has been choking in his heart for a long time, but he has no reason to refute her, and he doesn't want to make a contract with her. I don't want to make a contract with you. Brother Long, the reason why I want to make a contract with you is that you really think I'm scheming against you. Why are you so stupid? Cloud Dance said, the voice stopped. Stupid? It is stupid to believe that she has become a contract animal. However, seeing the Red Fire Dragon everywhere, Cloud Dance couldn't help but smile. He continued, although Warcraft has been contracted by the summoner, it is indeed driven by the summoner, but there is another level that you did not expect. The level of the contract beast will also increase with the upgrade of the summoner. Brother Long, I don't want to talk about you. At your present level, you can't turn into a human. Don't you think it's a pity? See, Cloud Dance behind that sentence fall, Red Fire Dragon seems to face a change. Half a sound, just gnashing his teeth like the mouth. You think this is to despise my strength is too weak? Of course not. Yunwu grinned and looked kind. I'm sorry for you. How to say, you're also the 8th prince of the dragon, but you've always been able to turn into a human. It's a pity. During this time, I really need your help to guard the Cloud family. You know, there's nothing you can do in mainland China, but there won't be some other places that don't have eyes. If you have made a contract with me. Now I have the strength of Wuzuan, and you will also leap from class to Wuzuan. For Warcraft, it's absolutely jumping. You can not only turn into human form, but also greatly increase your strength. Isn't that the benefit of both of us? In fact, this time back, Yunwu did bring some selfishness. Red Fire Dragon smells speech, that look in the eyes changed again and again. But it is Leng is a long time did not say a word. Because what Yunwu said is true, although Warcraft is regarded as a slave contracted by the summoner, it's just like being humiliated. However, the only advantage is that the contract beast will also increase its strength with the strength of the summoner. This need not be questioned. After it was trapped, the original Fire Dragon Ball and the original fire were swallowed by the Cloud Dance. It's hard to improve. However, it's the 8th prince of the Dragon Clan. It's the contract beast of the summoner. If it's spread, what face does it have? In this world of martial arts, all face is false. Only when the strength is improved, can it be called real face. Seems to see Red Fire Dragon hesitated, Cloud Dance said quickly. Under the education of Cloud Dance, in the end, the Red Fire Dragon's will to resist became smaller and smaller, and it seemed that he was close to compromise. Come on, Brother Long, I've said all I have to say. It's double-edged. So don't resist and obey. If you don't speak, I'll make you promise. Cloud Dance finally, also direct corner of the mouth a yang, smile of a face not good intention. In fact, the idea of contracting the Red Fire Dragon was born at the beginning. It's hard all the way. After I became a summoner, I met too many things. I put this stubble away again and again. This time I came back, I took the opportunity to knock and implement it. Of course, the most important point is that half of what she said is true. People in the upper bound seem to know her well when they come to the lower bound. It's hard to guarantee that one day they will threaten the Cloud family. Contract Red Dragon, at least in strength, with her promotion and promotion. Moreover, after the contract, she was more relieved. When the whole face muscle of Red Fire Dragon twitches, it agrees. When did I agree to the contract? I didn't agree to the contract. It's a forced contract. Red Fire Dragon glared at the clouds, muttering endlessly. However, after shouting, he muttered, okay, be nice to me in the future. Don't always pull my ear and ride on me. I'm ashamed. I'm the 8th prince of the Dragon Clan, anyway. The Cloud Dance listens to his crackling from Nan, can't help but forehead black line rubs. It's really a moody and irascible temper. When did he nag like this? However, it is right to do one thing, that is not to resist. It's no use fighting. At the moment, the clouds dance and the mind close. At the same time of mobilizing the internal force, the mental force suddenly rises. The battle of contracts. The voice began to murmur. At that moment, a dazzling color light flashed out in such a raging hurricane. Then, a mighty breath set off a mysterious totem array, gushing out from the foot of Cloud Dance and Red Fire Dragon. The breath in the air is isolated in an instant. And the elder Yun Qi and others who are watching this scene are all open. Is this a contract? Yes, that girl is actually contracting the demon dragon. This girl is too fierce. Will the demon dragon resist? Shoo, don't make any noise. 9 girls want to do things in a proper way. Yun Qi's eyes were shocked, but he was the most calm. In the fundus, it's the surprise and comfort. The 9 girl came back. In addition to sending news, it is estimated that it is for the future security of the Cloud family. With such a granddaughter, he has nothing to regret. In midair. In the array of colored light, it is like a cage that never escapes, and it rolls Red Fire Dragon away. At the sight of the breath. Red Fire Dragon body, instinct suddenly a stiff. You should be kind to me in the future, and remember to let me go when you have a chance later. Red Fire Dragon that voice, hurriedly thin Li Hua Lav say. However, before its words were finished, the more dazzling the array was. All of a sudden, a group of red light shot out of the contract array, straight into its white eyebrow. Voice, stop. All the movement around, at this moment quiet down. The red light quietly envelopes the red fire dragon, but the array under him gradually collapses. Finally, the array turns into a green light, which is divided into two. 1. Into the red light wrapped in the red fire dragon. Straight into the cloud of eyebrows. At that moment, on Cloud Dance's right finger, a faint red light flashed by. When the light disappeared, a red ring of contract was wrapped around her finger. And it was then. A wonderful spiritual connection also formed a line between her and the red fire dragon. The red light wrapped in the red fire dragon began to fade away, revealing its original appearance. Master. A low call came. I saw that the dragon shape of the red fire dragon had turned into a handsome man after the light faded. In his early 30s, he was dressed in red and had sharp eyes. However, his hot temper could be seen from his eyebrows. After the contract, Cloud Dance can be regarded as a solution to future worries. Now Red Dragon is in Cloud home, at least in a short time, she doesn't have to worry about safety. When Yunwu said he would return to Longshu, Yunqi must go back with her. Yunwu says that he still has something to do and will not go back to the palace directly. Yunqi says that he will go by himself. Yunwu has some helplessness to him, but she does have one thing to do. She can't go back to the palace with him. After leaving Yunfu, Yunwu directly summoned Jinling and headed for the border and the junction of Longshu Kingdom as soon as possible. The location of elite troops. After the First World War, Yunwu found a place for the elite troops in Longziguo, where they are hiding their talents. In a secluded and remote courtyard on the border of Longshu State. Purple figure fall, Cloud Dance hook mouth, all the way ethereal walked in. Miss 9. Soldiers in ordinary robes stopped for a moment when they saw Cloud dancing. Cloud Dance slightly jaw head, then left. Not far away, came a cold natural and unrestrained white figure, calm eyes with a trace of cold, Cloud dancing eyes, passing a smile, to make Xian daze. Today's Ling Xuanchen has no sense of helplessness. Now he is very calm. On the contrary, he has a feeling that he can manage everything. In particular, she hasn't mentioned the old man in the cave for a long time. It's not that she doesn't worry or miss him. It's that he has finally become a strong man. He has the way to survive. How do you feel here? Cloud Dance eyebrow tip pick, the smile of the fundus of the eye shallow if spring flower, more like breeze. Make Xian Day lips cape pull open a radiant, calm mouse sun inside die up one to put on hazy, very good. This army has made him strong and taught him how to protect himself and the people he wants to protect. It's time to fulfill what you had hoped. I'll take you to see your grandfather, but I know that no matter how it turns out, I'm satisfied to see it. Don't wait for Cloud Dance to finish saying, make Xian Day then interrupted her words. He knew very well that it was a miracle that he could live one more day when he was imprisoned by the Beast Gate, not to mention it had been so long. But he didn't know the old man's importance to Mo Yebing. Mo Yebing won't kill him unless he has to. But now Cloud Dance is not sure. The old man was imprisoned for so many years and didn't say anything. In the end, he certainly won't say anything. It's not impossible for Mo Yebing to think of some way to kill him in a rage. Yunwu nodded slightly, and a trace of satisfaction passed by his eyes. See make Xian Day today's appearance, that old man even if died should also be able to close eyes? They soared all the way to Hurricane Cliff. The faint hole on the cliff of Hurricane Cliff is still covered by green vines. The Cloud dances to return to Maoli One Eye to make Xian Sky, a jump body but descend, drilled into the hole. After Yunwu entered the cave, she first frowned slightly, and her eyes flashed a strange look. Because, this time, I can't feel the strange power of the last time. What's going on? Could it be that then she denied, shaking her head, the old man should still have the value of life, the ink night ice endures so many years, should not kill him. Everything in the cave remained the same, still full of corpses. It's just weird that she smelled a smell of decay here. The cloud dances the Mao light sharp edge to pass by, remember last time come, in addition to the old man body that strange force of oppression, completely have no a bit rotten stink, some, only bloody. But now the strange power is gone. Instead, the smell of visceral erosion is full of it. Is the old man cloud dance thought, eyes a-tight, a phantom past, directly came to the place where the old man was imprisoned. Make Xian Day glimpse the everything in the cave, the eye ground a wipe cold on flits by. Piles of bones, viscera everywhere, is this a human hell? He saw her look abnormal, eyebrows a frown, fundus a touch of worry, in the twinkling of an eye, followed by the shadow moved in. Yunwu comes to the place where the old man is imprisoned, but finds that the old man's figure is really gone. The black vine seems to have been uprooted. The old man's position is only at the root of the black vine on the stone wall of the earth's surface. Nothing else has changed. There was no sign of fighting in the cave. It was obvious that the old man had not escaped and could not. There's only one explanation. He was taken away. Who took him? Isn't he connected with hiding? Did that man go with hiding? Yunwu thinks of that scene, and suddenly feels a touch of suffocation in his throat. Who has the ability to take hiding away with people? After seeing the empty cave, Ling Xuanxian knows that it's late. A look of pain in the quiet fundus of his eyes passes by, and his eyes are covered up with a cold look. Cloud Dance looked back to coagulate his one eye, tiny frown way, don't worry, he is all right, just was transferred to walk. Make Xian Day smell speech, in the eye fundus abruptly rise to put on joy, the Mao Rei Mang of looking at Cloud Dance, really? Cloud Dance tiny jaw head, then Wei, regardless of life and death, I promised you, will let you see him. Make Xiantian mouth open a touch of radiant, that wipe smile let Cloud Dance feel so dazzling, although he looks general, but the bone is with the toughness and peace of the witch people. After leaving the hurricane cliff, Yunwu tells something about Ling Xuanxian and returns to Longziguo. Although the effect of her assassin regiment was really good in the last war, the number was too small. Therefore, after the war, she gave Ling Qingshui full power and went directly for development. However, what Yunwu may not have thought of. One day, her assassin corps will be enough to shake the existence of mainland China. As soon as Yunwu entered Longziguo, the news of her marriage spread all over the streets. Fortunately, she is very low-key, and her real appearance is rarely revealed. People in Longziguo have heard of her, and most of them haven't seen her. Otherwise, she really dares not go this way. Yunwu walked in the street, listening to all kinds of blessing, admiration, slander words, secretly sighed. God knows, she really always low-key after returning to the palace, Yunwu's face was no better than that in the street. On the contrary, it was a little darker. The coldness between the eyebrows could be felt by one person. So much so that the guards in front of the palace gate, when they touched the angry and cold eyes of Yunwu, were scared to think that she was transparent. In the palace, the red curtain is spread and the ribbons are flying. People were busy with the necessities of marriage in their hands, and the whole palace looked as if she was alone. Not far away, the figure appeared and stopped, as if it was waiting for her. Cloud Dance looks at South Palace E, the bottom of the eye displeasure faded a few minutes, extremely shallow pulled a smile, lift a step to walk toward him. Nangong E is sitting on the stone platform. His white robe is rippling and swirling with dust. It seems that he doesn't care. He is facing the clouds. Under the white veil, Yunwu couldn't see his expression clearly. Wait for me. Cloud Dance show eyebrow a pick, the corner of the mouth holds a smile, followed him to sit down. The intersection of purple and white robes is an unspeakable fit and abruptness. Nangong Yi slightly lowered his head, a breeze lifted, white yarn with the breeze spin up a radiant, the gorgeous setting sunlight, that Zhang Junyi's face seems to be a little gloomy and cold. It's the next second. White gauze recovers again and covers his face. At that moment, Cloud Dance thinks that she is wrong. Are you really getting married? Nan Gongyi looks at the Cloud Dance and can't tell what it looks like. His ordinary warm voice is a little low. Cloud Dance didn't notice this abnormality. Cloud Dance slightly jaw-head. Although she was not happy to see the bright red, the warmth of her eyes never disappeared. I need your blessing. Cloud Dance toward him a smile, between words is rare trust. You may be very clear that you and he are two extremes. It's impossible. Nanganji, I've known you for some time. You should know me very well. Maybe, in your opinion, some things are predestined. However, I always don't believe in fate. Even if it's really predestined, I will just follow my heart. Even if it's against fate, it doesn't matter. You should know that. Cloud Dance glanced at him, a trace of complexity passed by the fundus of his eyes, so, I hope I can get your blessing. After that, Yunwu didn't wait for what he was saying. I got up and disappeared into the gray haze. Why do you always ask for the impossible? Nan Gongyi looks at the figure that disappears in the distance and whispers. Cloud Dance back to the room, found that the room has been empty. Suddenly a bad feeling appeared. Should not just then there was a knock on the door. Princess, the prince asked his maidservant to tell you that all your things are in the prince's room. Cloud Dance heard the maid said, face suddenly a black, the whole space filled with a depressing cold. That's it. The maid-in-waiting felt a chill around her body and left quietly with a silent shiver. As night falls, the Milky Way is still and starry. Cloud Dance looks at the box that is opened on the bed, eyes light cold light flits by, there is a thing that the world does not have. This man really dares to take anything. A touch of cold delicate figure, pacing in the night, around the cold breath radiated all the way, straight toward the East Palace. The cloud dances, the eyes flash, the corners of the mouth close. Long Qingxie, before I get married, I give up your hands and let you take everything. Bang! The gate of the palace was kicked open, whining and creaking. But the next second, the whole person of Cloud Dance was picked up in the air. Body empty, she can only subconsciously grasp the person holding her, she's sullen way, put me down. The smell of dragon's evil spirit burned on her cheek, and the thread of chi wandered around her neck. Little thing, are you so eager to throw yourself in your arms? Yunwu's face turned black and he just wanted to scold him. One hand accidentally touched something soft, and her heart was shocked. Isn't this the steamed bread cover she made herself, this shameless man? You. It's something that feels good. Without waiting for Yunwu to speak, Long Qingxie put her down, waved the manta cover in his hand, and looked at her eyebrows doubtfully. Under the intersection of cold moonlight and weak candlelight, Cloud Dance's indifferent face is especially purple and blue, and a pair of star eyes rotate back and forth with the things in his hands. Left eye, right eye. Cloud Dance sees the opportunity, a forward flutter, will steamed bread cover tightly in the hand, bright star mouse stares at the dragon to pour evil, cold way, let go. Long Qingxie slightly raised his eyebrows, moved his eyes to Yunwu's chest, stopped, and stirred up a charming smile. If you want me to let go, tell me what this is, it's fun. Stop. Cloud Dance low roars a body, star mao overflows sullen ya to burn, what you dare to play, you dare not again, shameless a bit. Shameless? Long Qingxie suddenly frowned and looked evil. This is your thing, don't you? Cloud Dance under the black line of forehead. Still drags the thing in the hand not to let go, the eye ground cold mangs glimpses the dragon to pour evil, a word away, let go. Dragon Qing evil mouth corner a bend, fiercely released a hand. With a cry of surprise, the figure suddenly leans backward and falls into a warm and powerful embrace. If you want to throw yourself in your arms, just come directly. Why do you have to be so troublesome? I still like you to be more direct. The cloud dances and looks at the sky without tears. Suddenly, she feels that if she becomes this pro tomorrow, she will be in darkness in the future. This guy is too shameless, too black-hearted, too cheeky. The night is still and bright. The cold moonlight, shining through the palace window into the palace bed, a white and a purple, two quiet figures embrace and sleep. However, they are extremely polite. Little thing, starting tomorrow, you are mine. I've been waiting too long for this day. Long Qingxie branded a deep kiss on her forehead, and the corners of her mouth stirred up a smile. Tomorrow? Yes. Although it's not a long time, I feel that I've gone too long. It's less than a year, but I feel like I've been away for most of my life. It's just that. In the light of the evening wind, they feel sleepy. Gradually, their eyes are dense and hazy, and they soon fall asleep. Outside the palace, there was a strange smell. Shallow let people imperceptible, as if that wipe abnormal is just a moment of illusion in general. The next day, the sunrise appeared in the sky, and the whole palace was covered with a layer of hazy gold. Long Qingxie moved slightly, his sword eyebrows frowned slightly, and touched the people around him. There was nothing cold and empty, and he opened his eyes fiercely. In a moment of meditation, the corners of his mouth were slightly raised and he fell on the bed again. Listen to the sound of busy outside, Dragon Qing evil eyes but flash. Today is their wedding day. Where is this little thing? The dragon leaves his bed and opens the palace door. Outside, there are lanterns, red curtains, locked voices and shouts. At the corner of Dragon's mouth, he smiles and happens to meet the maids who come to serve them. Good morning to the third prince. Dragon Qing evil tiny a low Mao Wei, see the princess? The maid in waiting for a moment, then respectfully said, I haven't seen the princess yet. Long Qingxie's sword eyebrow wrinkled and waved to let her put it in. There was a doubt in her eyes. Where did she go so early? Somebody. Prince. Several bodyguards heard the call and came in a hurry. Go and see where the princess is. The bodyguard was stunned for a moment and said respectfully, yes. They all know that Yunwu's things moved to his room yesterday, and they spent the night in his room. They were surprised to find Yunwu when they got up early this morning. But they were just surprised and puzzled, and did not dare to ask any more questions. However, when the bodyguard looked around, he almost turned the imperial palace upside down, but could not find the figure of Cloud Dance. Knowing the seriousness of the matter, he quickly came to report to Long Qingxie. Prince, no princess. The bodyguard said in a low voice. There are still 2 hours left for them to be very happy. Although they did not invite other 2 countries, their marriage has already caused a sensation in mainland China. The ministers came, the prince of An Kingdom Situ Lan also came, and the people of Cloud House also came. Now the bride is gone. The bodyguard's body was getting lower and lower, and he could almost feel the cold breath from the dragon's evil spirit. Keep looking. Even if you dig 3 feet, you'll find it. With a low roar, the corner of his mouth suddenly twitches, and the cold light of his eyes suddenly appears, as cold as the ice in the December. Yes, the bodyguard responded and left respectfully. Long Qingxie's sword eyebrows wrinkled tightly. Looking at an orchid in front of the hall, his golden eyes narrowed slightly. Where did she go? It can't be. Have you escaped marriage? The black line on Dragon's forehead rises, and the anger of his eyes rises instantly. No way. He didn't dare to promise other women, but Yunwu, a little thing, would never escape marriage. But where did she go? The next second, the anger in those eyes was replaced by Bingsun. Looking at the orchid in front of the hall, a bad premonition came to my heart. Prince, do you want to? Don't wait for the maid to finish. Long Qingxie's cold eyes swept by. The maid of honor immediately closed her mouth, bowed respectfully, turned around and left. The bridegroom-to-be, it's time to enjoy the flowers. Not far away, a silver figure came slowly, with a languid smile, joking. Long Qingxie glanced at Situlan. There was a rare worry and fear between his eyebrows. Situ Lan noticed his abnormal expression and frowned slightly. His step was a little faster. He went to Long Qingxie's side and looked inside the palace. He frowned and said, "Where's the little dance?" Long Qingxie shakes his head, his eyebrows are locked. "I don't know. I don't know. Just now, some people said that you were sleeping in the same bed last night. Now you don't know." Situ Lan rarely put away his unconventional attitude and yelled at the dragon. "I woke up in the morning and she disappeared. Last night." Suddenly, Long Qingxie seemed to think of something. Sun Han's eyes suddenly raised. She was taken away. It occurred to him that he felt a strange smell in the haze last night. But only 1 second. "I didn't care what illusion I thought it was, and I seemed to be sleepy yesterday. Now think about it, if that person can really abduct Yunwu, and only feel the abnormality for 1 second, it will be normal. She was taken away by your side?" Situ Lan's eyes narrowed. He looked at the evil dragon in disbelief. Who can take her away from him? The strength of the two of them is already very adverse. How adverse should the man who took her away? Long Qingxie nodded slightly, moved his eyes away from the orchid, turned and walked into the palace. The orchid was plucked a petal. Long Qingxie looked around at the palace and never let go of every corner. Since the man has taken Yunwu away, he must have a purpose. If he has a purpose, he must stay behind some clues for him to find out. Suddenly, he put his eyes on a painting on the wall of the palace, which is a beautiful picture of mountains and rivers. He remembers that when he glanced at this picture yesterday, the girl's eyes were light and calm, and she was wearing a blue flowing skirt. But now the pretty girl's eyes were bright, her eyes were moving, and she was wearing a brown suit. Did you find anything? Situ Lan went into the palace and looked at the words on the wall of Long Qingxie. He lost his mind and said in a deep voice. Long Qingxie narrowed his eyes and looked at the strange clothes. There was a dark meditation at the bottom of his eyes. How can this dress look so familiar? Suddenly, the undercurrent surged in his eyes, and his eyes were cold. It's that when I was in that strange space, I met a man in strange clothes. At first, he didn't remember, just because he wasn't sure it was a woman. Now, it's just her, the person in the strange space. Long Qingxie's eyes were cold and murmured. Although he didn't see the woman's face clearly, her strange dress was really unique. Who is it? Situ Lan looks at Long Qingxie's expression and doubts. Help me to see if there are any names of places and people on this painting. Long Qingxie's eyes are cold, and it seems that he can guess that the woman is coming for him. At the beginning, after fighting for half a month, they didn't decide whether to win or lose. Her strength can be imagined. No wonder she can take Cloud Dance away from him. It's just, what did she do with Yunwu? What is the destination? Damn it! If anyone dares to touch her hair, he will tear her to pieces. Look here. Does it look like a word? Situ Lan's eyes flashed, pointing to the lantern rod in the woman's hand. On the lantern is a blood-red orchid. The shape of the orchid is like the word Shang. Up. Dragon Qing Xia looked at the orchid, soared eyebrow low, keep flying brain. Orchid outside the door was pulled off a petal, here again orchid, absolutely not a coincidence. Focusing on the woman's dress in his memory, he was sure that she was definitely not from mainland China, so the word on it would not be. Situ Lan and Long Qingxie raised their eyes together and looked at each other. They thought of the answer in their hearts. Upper bound? Situ Lan was not sure, but he said the answer in his heart. At the end of the speech, the dragon tilted his evil head slightly, and the depth of his eyes was as deep as an abyss. Their answer came up with a peace. That means that the answer is correct. Just as Situ Lan wanted to say something, he didn't speak again when he heard the sound of footsteps outside the palace. Prince, the good time is coming. It's time to change. Outside the palace, the maid who had just sent the clothes carefully said that she did not dare to lift her head. Just now, The cold breath of Dragon Qingxie, like death, really scared her. She was brave enough to come back, tell everyone that the marriage will be postponed. Long Qingxie glanced at the maids outside the palace coldly, and his deep and piercing voice came out. At the end of the speech, the maiden waiting for a moment seemed unable to respond to the sudden situation. After a long time, she said, "Yes." Outside the palace, the trumpet was loud and noisy. The atmosphere in the palace is solemn and cold. "Are you going?" Situ Lan Ning took a look at the dragon, and his worried look flashed by. "My woman is there, of course I have to go." Long Qingxie roared, his eyes were scarlet, with a hint of danger. His white fingers clucked, trying to hide his anger at the moment. Situ Lan glanced at him and put his eyes on the woman in the painting again. He raised a helpless smile at the corner of his mouth. "This is not the peach blossom that you caused, is it?" Long Qingxie's cold light flashed across his face. "Do you think so?" "I think so." Situ Lan cold hums the eye-ground doesn't have the facial expression of a silk joke. The woman in the painting is handsome and heroic, and her facial features are extremely delicate and grand. It's a beautiful woman with a certain flavor. At night, it should be a woman who doesn't pay attention to details. There is a glimmer of autumn in her charming eyes. Situ Lan had no choice but to raise his mouth and glance at the dragon. Picking eyebrows at him, "It's not your peach blossom det." Who is she looking at? A little dance? Or is the eye bad, usually like this? Long Qingxie's eyes were dark. He couldn't refute his words, but he felt extremely ridiculous. A woman who hasn't even seen her face, but has played a game and hasn't decided whether to win or lose, and has never met again, is it his peach blossom det? Isn't it a little ridiculous? But why do you think it really means something like this? No matter what, as long as she dares to hurt her, he will not let her go. He has no good habit of not killing women. The truth in the palace comes to the surface, and the atmosphere of killing is a little calmer, but outside the palace, there is a lot of doubt. The news of their marriage delay, like a deep water bomb, caused 1,000 waves. Everyone's heart is a little bit confused. How can suddenly postpone the wedding date? The postponement of marriage, which caused a sensation in mainland China, became a hot topic again, just like the news of their marriage. It's said that Yunwu escaped marriage. It is said that Yunwu deliberately let Long Qingxie relax his vigilance and ran away in the middle of the night. Some people say that after sleeping all night, they found something they didn't find before, so they ran away. There are so many rumors that it means never to die. Maybe it means, Yunwu ran away, and Long Xiao was dumped. Inside the palace, listening to the noise outside, after a dead silence, it finally returned to normal again. "Go out and explain." Long Su is covered by an kingdom. Situ Lan looked at Long Qingxie, sipped his lazy lips, patted him on the shoulder, indicating that he was relieved. He knew that there were many women, which was far more important to him than anything, including Long Shugua. Dragon Qing Evil quietly sighed. The fundus can't say anything complicated. And then I will see Tu Lan embrace in the bosom. Don't let him see his so sensational side. Good brother, if there is a next life, whether you are male or female, I will marry you as my concubine. After that, he released Situ Lan and left the palace without looking back. Who is the wife? Situ Lan raised a radian at the corner of his mouth and joked. She, of course. If you have a daughter-in-law and forget your brother, you must bring Xiaowu back, or you will not come back to Longziguo. In the silent palace, Situ Lan looked at the place where the figure had disappeared and said in a low voice. In the square of the palace. Everyone's eyes were fixed on the figure in the distance, which seemed to be walking on a leisurely court. The noisy crowd was silent and seemed to resonate, waiting for the dragon to explain to them. Long Qingxie walks in the crowd and walks towards Long Yaozi, with a touch of guilt passing by his eyes. Long Yaozi just gave him a smile. It seemed that he didn't know what the unexpected people thought. 3 princes, where is 9 wenches? Yun Qi, who has been listening to the whispers of the crowd, looks extremely ugly. After seeing Long Qingxie, he can't help roaring in a loud voice. He just wants Long Qingxie to wash away his slander for Yunwu. If he can endure the slander of Yunwu for so long, his cultivation of patience has also improved a lot. At this time, dressed in noble and festive crowd, a sudden white figure appeared in plain clothes. On the white robe of Nanganji, there are some slovenly and incorruptible figures, showing a trace of fatigue. Under the white veil, those indifferent eyes are staring at the dragon for a moment. After he learned that she had disappeared, he frantically looked for every corner of the palace, but did not find her. He knew that something must have happened to her. If she ran away from marriage, she would not allow him to get married. If she did, she would not run away. Then she's gone. There's only one explanation. She's taken away. His father had made a budget for her future. Her life was destined to pursue and not be calm. What she wanted was leisurely in the mountains and forests. She wanted to do whatever she wanted. There was still a long way to go to realize it, so he's gambling that this marriage won't work. Although he won the bet, he found that the bet was too big and he didn't know how to save it. In the end, he had to follow his steps. Nangongyi looks at the dragon to pour evil, calm Mao's son inside, can't say is what's strange. High up. Long Qingxie glanced at the crowd and said, "Today's marriage is postponed. It's a temporary decision after my discussion with the princess. I'm going to travel around China and get married after I come back. Do you have any questions?" When they finished speaking, the crowd continued to hush. Is this marriage for children? It's delayed. If it's delayed, I don't understand what young people think. Oh, Wulong farce. Long Qingxie listened to everyone's discussion. Although everyone felt that his decision was absurd, the result was very optimistic. No one doubted the truth of the reason he said. It's ridiculous. It's hundreds of times better than saying he was dumped. When Yunxi heard his reply, his fierce eyes suddenly got angry, but he soon covered it up. After more than half of his life, how could he not understand the meaning of White Dragon's evil? It seems that 9 girls really met with something tricky. On the other hand, Yunlingyi is also very clear. The South Palace answers to him. Indifference of Mao's son have no half-cent billows. What he waits for is he leaves. Next, I will announce one thing. Today I will pass the throne to the 3 princes. When he gets married, he will be in charge of the government. During this period, I will take charge of the government for him. Long Yaozi seemed to feel that the water was not turbulent enough, so he dropped a deep water bomb again. All of a sudden, the atmosphere under the stage became hot again. With a low buzzing sound, I wanted to fry my head in the pan. Long Qingxie's eyes narrowed slightly, and he looked at Long Yaozi puzzled. How could he be so anxious to give him the throne? Long Yaozi just looked at him with a smile. His eyes were unpredictable. I'm afraid only he knows the reason. He doesn't care about the time of the throne. Anyway, it will be his sooner or later. Now the most important thing is to find Yunwu as soon as possible. If she stays more, she will be more dangerous. After the wedding day, Long Ziguo and Yunfu have become the biggest discussion points. To be nice, Long Ziguo and Yunfu are more famous because of them. To be ugly, they have become the laughingstock of people in mainland China. However, Yunxi has not paid so much attention to his face ever since he had a clean hand. Rumors are all around him, but as long as he doesn't slander Yunwu, he doesn't care about anything. Long Yaozi's mind changed greatly from being controlled to being dispelled. He was not as dignified and melancholy as before. He always had a light smile on his face. He didn't care about Long Shugua's scandal. He knew more or less about his son. He knew that there must be something in it. But they didn't ask too much. If they can't solve the problem by themselves, they will naturally say that they have solved the problem. If they don't say it, they don't have to worry about it. The dark night came again, and the starry night seemed to announce that the day had passed. In the quiet palace, the gloomy atmosphere diffuses everywhere. A white figure stood in front of the window, baptizing the clear moonlight, which made his breath colder. Long Qingxia looks at the dark night, and his sword eyebrows are slightly solidified. He didn't know much about the upper world, and he doubted the purpose of the woman's kidnapping Yunwu. It's too far-fetched to say it's a peach blossom debt. There must be some purpose behind it. Little thing, I'm sure you can solve the emergency situation by yourself. She saw the skill of removing the moves. He had seen it. It must be no problem. He kept repeating it in his heart and persuading himself. The moon is bright and the stars are sparse, the clear light is shining, and the night is doomed to be sleepless. In the shabby thatched house, a touch of morning light shines through the gap of the thatch. When you enter the house, a touch of light falls on the woman in purple lying on the ground. I saw that woman's eyelashes trembled slightly like a fan, and slowly opened her eyes. Pain. It was her first sensation when she woke up. Yunwu felt that she was being teased by a hard thing on her body. She wanted to stretch out her hand to support her body and stand up, but she found that her hands and feet were tied and she couldn't move. The rope that tied her was suffused with the blue light of water element, and the spiritual power loomed. Yunwu looks at the water element rope on her feet, lowers her eyebrows, and lies on the straw. She glances at the shabby room and is surprised. It's a pity that someone can find such a rotten room. Under the body's sharp pain let her unbearable, Cloud Dance turned over, the pain feeling hot attack. She glanced at the thing under her body. A cold light in her eyes passed by. It was a sharp tool with round 3 sharp corners made of a stone. Uncle, who is so vicious? She can still feel the tingling in her abdomen now. Cloud Dance recalled yesterday, really can't remember how she was caught here. She usually sleep very shallow, only that night sleep a little deep, don't be quietly kidnapped. If it was not that her body didn't feel the effects of sleeping pills and hypnotic incense, she must suspect that she had been drugged to sleep to death. Squeak. The door of the broken house was opened. Yunwu looks at the woman who comes near the door. She is the one who kidnapped her. The woman's black silk poured down, and her delicate features were almost perfect, unlike the stinginess of other people's delicate features. On the contrary, it is the feeling of special atmosphere. One eye is bright and charming, with a trace of cunning color. She was dressed like a modern hunter, with delicate deerskin and a wide belt around her waist. She looked very brave. But she can see that it's not her nature. Awake? Jinyuyan went to Yunwu and looked at Yunwu lying on the straw. She disdained to smile and disdained, such a woman, I really doubt what he likes about you. At the end of the speech, the cloud danced for a second, and a cold light flashed in his eyes, sneering, I'm sorry, when I met him, he was wearing a headgear, which hindered his sight. This sentence made Jinyu's face sink. Cloud Dance looked up to see through the outside of the house, glanced at Jinyu and said, How long have I been in a coma? Yesterday morning to this morning, the time of the day. Jinyu said sarcastic smile, the corner of the mouth across a mysterious smile, Don't worry, Pro is temporarily can't become. There was a trace of patience in her eyes. Yesterday was a happy day for her. The new lady suddenly disappeared on the eve of her marriage. Should mainland China be a sensation when the news spread? But she didn't know that the most sensational time had passed yesterday. Can you let me go now? Cloud Dance piao her one eye, the silver in the eye ground cold creeps suddenly appear. But his behavior is very calm. Because at this time, if she is flustered and anxious, it will only make this woman feel happy. She is a person who never likes to see her opponents happy. Jinyu said, laughing at the words, provocative eyes full, let you go. I'm going to take you for fun. Then I'll be more respectful than obedient. The cloud dances, the corners of the mouth are slightly raised, and a trace of coldness passes through the eyes. She always plays with others. Does this woman want to play with her? Do your dream of leisure in spring and autumn. Miss, what can I do for you? Suddenly, a sound came from outside the broken house, which was sent in by spirit power. Yunwoo was surprised to find that she could not see the strength of the two men. Has her strength receded? How can individuals not see their strength? That woman hears the words outside the door, the corner of mouths and smiles, come in to talk. Finish speaking, next second. A black figure blocked the light in front of the door. In a flash, the light reappeared. The man had already stood in front of Yunwoo and Jinyu. After seeing the cloud dance, the man's eagle eyes obviously fluctuated, and the undercurrent in his eyes seemed to crush the cloud dance. Are you? Yunwoo recognized the man as soon as he entered the door, and the witch she met when she took her to the ancient town. Why is she here? Is this the ancient town? Why is she here? Jin Lao's eagle-like eyes look at Jin Yu's words, and his tone is burning with anger. Haha, it seems that there's a little grudge between you. At the end of Jin Yu's words, she looks at the charming eyes and looks at the cloud dance, which seems to hide another layer of meaning. Cloud dance sneer, is some gratitude and resentment, but injustice has a head, debt has, I will not be the head of injustice. Although this is Jin Yu's reply, she is looking at Jin Lao. She seems to be saying that what makes you dumb is sublime. Don't rely on her. The smell of the witch people was floating in the shabby thatched house. The cloud danced and coagulated a glance at the old man, frowning slightly. A witch who has experienced life and death should know a lot. Give her to me. The eagle eyes of old Jin looked at Jin Yu and said. Where do you think you are older than him? Jin Yu's words cold hum a smile, disdain of glance at gold old one eye. Hearing this, Mr. Jin's face changed slightly and his eyes were full of anger. He held his hand tightly under his sleeve robe and tried to conceal his anger. Cloud dance, a sneer at the bottom of his eyes. This man is really stupid. He is teased by lofty calculation and satirized by this woman. Is she the one he wants? Jinyu glanced at him, and his eyes were dark. Yes. The golden eagle's eyes were cold, and he held back his anger. That's good. She'll be in your charge for a day. I have something else to do. Jinyin stood up, raised her long hair and pulled it up. She was full of heroism, but her heart revealed a very gloomy atmosphere. When Jin Lao heard the words, his forehead suddenly relaxed, and there was a bit of surprise and greed in his eagle eyes. Yunwoo takes back her eyes, and the meditation under her eyes looms. Don't be killed. When she came to the door, Jinyu's voice floated in again. As soon as the words fell, she disappeared. Yunwoo was surprised at her speed, and at the same time, she was surprised how to deal with Jin Lao. She secretly vowed in her heart that if conditions permit, she would give back what she did today thousands of times. Cloud dance is the use of strength to break through the shackles of hands and feet, but found that the greater the strength, the closer the close, the heart suddenly clattered. Don't do it. If she doesn't open it for you, you can't open it. Jin Lao's interesting voice suddenly rang in the simple, desolate and quiet hut. Cloud dance eyebrow Aleng, looking at gold old eye ground of greedy color, star eye tiny cold. This double eye bead, really how to see how not pleasing to the eye. Who is that woman? Cloud dance cold glanced at him one eye, unexpectedly and gold old doesn't chat. You think I'll tell you? Old Jin's gloomy eyes swept away and walked to Yunwoo on foot. It was like looking at a delicious food. Oh, it turns out that this is the witch people. Why don't you call it the Rattan people? Don't forget, you are the witch's saint. That's why I don't think I've got any light on my face. I'm a member of your family. You have no right to bargain with me now. Do you think you are my opponent if you let me go? I'm not sure what Yunwoo said. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.